Hey everyone, it's Fed. It's that time again. For a crappy week, it sure did go fast. I just want to start this off by saying happy birthday to our good old army there, and also to the commander-in-chief. And on top of that, I also want to wish everyone out there a happy Flag Day for those people who still respect the flag. And I'd like to think there's a lot more that do than that don't. But I don't want to waste any more time. Not that was a waste of time, but you know what I mean. Let's bring in the big guy. Hold on. Let's roll that beautiful Fez footage.
Ladies and gentlemen, millions watching around the world, let me introduce to you the genius of genealogy, the guru of guitar, John Fez
Brother John, how goes it?
Oh, it goes like the hammers of hell down the razor blade of life into the acid bath of eternal damnation, but at least the weather sucks.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Feel free to use that one in church.
A lot of things suck. Isn't that the case? But
yeah.
All right, gonna go through. Go ahead.
Not too bad. Not too bad. And I had time to put on a clean shirt for this one. Sorry about that, Raymond. But yeah, so things are going. And we got a whole lot of people here.
Yeah, we do. We got Queen Dolphin in the chat. That's another thing. I want to wish Queen Dolphin a belated happy birthday, man. Everybody, if you would, put a SF in the chat. Let's
happy birthday, Sandra.
Show Sandra some love. Snortapoopus, of course. Snortapoopus Q Burr. Like I say, man, it's not a chat without the snort in there.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Sandra. Of course. Snort says the Burr will be headed bedward soonish, so wishing you a fun show. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for stopping by. Stick around as long as you can, and take care, buddy. I hope you have a good. Hope you're not hibernating. I don't think it's that time of year, right?
No.
Okay.
This is the time of the year for the polar bears to be out in their Speedos.
Oh boy. Oh, that's an image, isn't it?
Yeah.
King Dolphin is here.
Yes.
Oh, that's another thing too. I want to give out a shout out to Wendy Webb, the trauma warrior herself. She's having some issues there. She was in an accident earlier this week, and she's recovering. And let's wish her a speedy recovery and all love for our friend and pal Wendy.
Yeah. Get well soon, kiddo.
Everyone's saying hi. FKHC 2005 is here. Of course, I'm here.
Yeah.
And Old Man Bird is here.
Wow.
He says, barely see Snortapoopus Q Burr these days, but I heard of sightings on other channels. Let's see if Theft for Hire sticks to his goal of only 2 hours instead of 12. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a long one tonight. I do have, with any luck, I have my buddy Sean K should be stopping by probably in about an hour or so. If you guys aren't familiar with Sean, he was on the channel before. He's a rockin' dude. He's an old buddy of mine from high school. He makes music and he does like AI videos that go along with them and stuff. So we'll
very
also
kooky ones.
Yes, very kooky, but very cool and
yes.
Kooky. So yeah, you might want to check him out. Anyway, he should be here later. Let's see. Oh, William Shakespeare is here in the chat.
Awesome.
welcome. Hope everybody had a decent week.
Oh, Glenn Schroeder's here.
Glenn Schroeder's here.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
How am I'm not seeing certain people. Like, I'm not seeing Glenn.
Yeah, he was up a little further. Matthew Weagle.
Matthew
Yeah.
Weagle? See this? I'm not seeing certain things here. What the heck is going on?
Yeah.
The train is already off the tracks, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Carla Burton's 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay. She wasn't sure she was going to be able to make it tonight. That's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm not seeing. This is strange. Oh, okay. There he is. Hey, Glenn.
Hiya.
What's going on? Oh, and there's Matt Eagle right there. It says, "Sup, guys." Wow. All right. This thing's jumping around me. That's great. That's not what I need. That's not what I need right now.
It's not the chat you wanted, but it's the chat you needed. The Sarge?
Sarge is hail to the Sarge.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of the military, like I said, man, I was at, okay. So, John, what are your, so you probably didn't get to watch the military parade or whatever you want to call it tonight because you're on King Dolphin, but what's your thoughts on it? I see a lot of people are griping about spending the money on it and all of that. What's your opinion?
If you're going to celebrate the people who keep us safe, I don't have a problem with it. And that goes back in my family history. I know you have ancestors who were in the military, including one who was in the Civil War, was a miner, and was at Cold Harbor. He's one of the guys that dug the tunnel that they filled with explosives and blew up, and resulting in the Battle of the Crater. Pretty amazing stuff. I had ancestors in the Battle of Wyoming, Battle of Minisink. This is all Revolutionary War. Ancestors on my father's side in the Civil War. That's the one I keep meaning to get down to your area to get to the see his gravestone before it's gone. But and a lot of us, you have Sandra, I believe, was in the Army or the Air Force.
Air Force, I think.
Yeah, and Raymond was in. Well, he was Air Force too. So hail to them. They began with the Army Air Corps. I had my grandfather's brother was a flight instructor out in Nebraska during World War II, and my grandmother's brother's son was a bombardier. He was killed at Luke Air Force Base after the war in a with his flight instructor. Both planes for some reason crashed, but I'm very proud of the heritage in there. So,
by the way, Sandra was in the Army. Correct.
I thought so.
She also says her father and both grandfathers were Army as well.
God bless them.
SP4H is here. Hail, brother.
Yeah. Awesome.
Glenn Schroeder says, my parents were Marines. I personally loved this celebration. I did too. You know what? It was nice for once to see, or I should say to not see them in action. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like a CNN, not that I watch CNN, but a news reel or something where they're blowing something up or something like that. It was nice to see.
Yeah.
And, personally too, like, the people that are griping about, this isn't China. We don't do stuff like this. Well, you know what? I'm glad we did, because after that ridiculous withdrawal from, Afghanistan there, I think the rest of the world thinks like our military is depleted, and they also seem to think that our military is full of like men in dresses and stuff like that. So I thought it was a pretty good idea, to show off what we got there and stuff like that. Because, ultimately, peace through strength is a good thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's better to show it off and because you know how it is. You see that not that I've ever been in jail, but you hear the stories. You go to jail and there's that big guy. Everybody knows you don't mess with him just because he's a big guy and stuff like that. So we need to be that big guy, and that's what
Yes.
that was today. We were showing off we're the big guy. Stop messing around.
Yeah.
Do my best not to curse here. I'm trying to get that up. Go ahead, John.
And again, hail to Wendy Webb. She was Army trauma medic, and she was not only in the aid stations, she was right there in the thick of combat, rappelling out of helicopters and such, trying to save lives. So extra hail Wendy Webb.
Sandra says her brother was Air Force. My son was in the Marines. My uncle was Navy. Wow, that's nice, man. He's got it covered there.
Yeah.
Now we need some Space Force going on.
Yeah, my nephew was Navy. I was Navy for 4 months. Claustrophobia is a bitch when you're in the submarine service. So, yeah, that didn't work out. But my nephew, I'm very proud of. He did well.
The Sarge says, at my age, it's comforting to know that I have a spot in a U.S. National Cemetery. That's nice, but let's hope it's not anytime too soon.
Yeah.
That's before it says, peace sells, but who's buying? That's right, man. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and along with what you were saying, walk softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah, exactly. FKHC says, Strategic Air Command old motto was peace is our profession. Yeah, and that's a profession we need to get back in. And then I think we took a big step towards that again today. So, and with everything that's going on in the world right now, it's a good thing to remind people, it's like, hey, don't forget the big dogs are over here watching you. You know what I mean? So,
that's it.
Snorty says, all right, time to sleep. Night all. Good night, Snort. Thanks for stopping by, man. Definitely love having you here. Yep.
Always great having the polar bear around.
That's for sure. I'm saying big dog. Maybe I should have said big polar bear.
What was it? SP4H was part of USAF Space Command in the early 2000s. Yeah, that counts.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sandra was a baum holder. I almost read that as bum holder. Oh.
That would be a general's aide if it was a bum holder.
Glenn Schroeder says he's a veteran of the psychic wars. Yeah. Ain't we all to a degree?
Yep. Oh, look at that.
What's that? What am I missing?
Matthew Weagle.
Okay. I'm getting down there.
Yep.
Well, hold on. Well, the SARS said 98J, electronic intelligence.
Ooh.
SP4H, to err is human, to forgive is not. SAC?
Yep. Strategic Air Command.
Okay, Matthew Eagle. My dad was an Army corpsman during the Korean War. All 7 of his brothers also served. My 3 brothers did, and let me see, 7 nieces and nephews. I almost joined after high school, but I chickened out. Yeah. That's pretty cool history there, though, family-wise. Yeah. I was never in service. I thought I was going to be a rock star at one point. Wasn't the path I chose, but definitely respect people who are willing. It takes a whole different kind of person to say, yes, I'm willing to lay my life down for this country, which makes it so much more despicable when these people go out there and, they spit in their faces and they taunt them and scream in their face. All this stuff you're seeing the last couple of days, it's pathetic. It really is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, people can say all they want. Well, it doesn't bother me. It bothers, a lot of people. And just crazy.
Yeah, it's one thing when you're in another country, and you have other people from other lands, doing it to you. But it's when it's the people you swore to protect and defend.
Yeah.
Coming at you like that, it's like, geez, man. It's like, holy, can we just get along? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of this stuff too. I know this is arguable, and a lot of people don't believe in some of this stuff, but you know, a lot of these protesters and stuff, they're paid. You know, these people are paid because if you've been watching over the last several years, you know, you see a lot of same faces and stuff in the footage, you know, leading the charge and things like that. And you see these videos of the buses dropping people off and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I've been seeing tonight now, you know, because today is that, what is it, the No King's Day or whatever it is, big protests going on all over the country and stuff. And, you know, you see all these people like this big, I saw this big on Twitter. There was a big production about all these thousands of people in Dallas, Texas, you know, the big red Dallas, Texas. Yeah. How many of those people were busted? You know what I mean? Yeah. To make it look like that, to make it appear like that, you know?
Yeah.
Because I still honestly believe there are more people that love this country than not. And it's sad in a lot of cases where a lot of these people who are paid protesters and all care more about money, you know, than doing the right thing or whatever like that. But
yeah, and a lot of the influencers, you know, they get the kids to get on their side of the arguments, and the kids don't know the real history. You know?
Yeah. Because of the despicable teachers that we have nowadays in school, you know?
Yeah.
Matt Eagle says, thanks everybody for your service. Absolutely. 100%. I mean, this country wouldn't have been free for the last 250 years if it wasn't for your service. And it's greatly appreciated. And especially, you know, I understand, you know, military personnel in the past had a lot of, you know, horse crap to deal with and everything. But man, the stuff that our military deals with these days, you know, from the inside even, you know, it's sad. It's sad. So it's a struggle for every service member, I'm sure, to do the right thing. And for those that do, absolutely 100% respect for all of you.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, I didn't last long in it. So I have a greater respect for those who could handle what I couldn't. And, you know, I later did my bit for God and country in the firehouses, but great respect for the people who were in there. You're better men than I am, and I appreciate you.
Absolutely. On a lighter note, FKHC said bum holder. Is that what covers the pizza butt? Could be. Could be.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what that probably is?
You
ever see those bags? Like they deliver the pizza in and it keeps the pizza warm.
I'll
bet you that's a bum holder.
Could be.
I don't know the technical name of that thing. Do you?
We just called it a bag.
Well, maybe it's officially a bum holder. Who knows? We just don't know.
Could be.
Sarge says, my son is a lieutenant colonel in the Space Force. That is awesome. Currently serving at the Pentagon. Much better than me. That's impressive. But no, maybe as good as you. As good as you, for sure. You're all better than me. Because, you know, I regret. You know, I'm just a little guy, though, too. You know, I guess I'm making excuses. But maybe if I could do my life over again, I'd go back and maybe do something better with it, you know?
Yeah. Well, 2020 hindsight, you know?
Yeah. Matt Eagle says, pretty awesome. I know you like history and buildings. My oldest uncle helped work on Sutton Dam in West Virginia with the ACOE. Looks cool if you look up some photos.
Yeah.
Tim says, it was a silent majority that got Trump elected.
Yeah.
Matt Eagle, you're 100% right. They bust them around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You'd think, okay, during DJT's first term, I could understand all this crap. You know, they wanted to prevent him from having another term and all that stuff, and they did a pretty damn good job of it.
Yeah.
But odds are this is it. You know what I mean? You know, let's for the sake of argument, let's just say that the last president remained in office for this 4 years. Okay.
Right.
Those of us that aren't fans of that particular individual, we wouldn't have went out and protested. We wouldn't have went out and burned things. We wouldn't have done any of this stuff that they're doing. We'd have just went on with our lives. As bad as it would have been. I mean, could you imagine another 4 years continuing down the road that we were, right? We wouldn't even probably be able to survive in 3 more years. But we would have dealt with it. We'd have sucked it up like adults, and just went on with our lives. That's the difference between one side and the other. It's like there's adults on one side, and there's everything else over on the other side. Yeah. And it's sickening to me. Again, I know I keep saying I'm going to stop getting political and stuff like that, but like events like you've been seeing, especially today, and it's crap that's going on in California. Like seriously, you're gonna trash your own city, and you think that makes you look good? You think that makes you look good? You know what I mean? These illegal people that are here. All right, you know what I mean? This is not the way to get welcomed with open arms into this country. You know what I mean? I don't understand the whole thing. Here's what I don't understand. Okay, they want to be here, right? Because I think it's not arguable that this is the greatest country on the planet. That's why everybody comes here. Okay, but then you want to come here and not abide by our laws, speak our language, and then you want to burn the flag of the country that you want to live in and wave the flag of the country you want to leave. Yeah. When what world does that make any sense?
Yeah. And after all the free stuff that they're getting on our dime,
listen, if I could get my phone paid for me, my bills, my insurance, my medical, all this stuff handed to me, like I would be kissing that. I would be wearing that flag every day. I would be draped in that flag. You know what I mean? I love my flag. And that just infuriates me. You see all this. Listen. We're 20 minutes in, so me cursing is probably not cursing is not going to hold out much longer, because this stuff just lights me up like you wouldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's been said so many times by so many people, right? You know who can't stand these illegal immigrants more than anyone else? Legal immigrants.
Yep.
Because they're ruining it for everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, who do you people think you are? Yeah. You know who these people are? You know who these people, the ones that aren't criminals, right? The flat out criminals that are coming here to do all kind of crooked shit, right? The other people are just those assholes at the store that just cut in line, that just steal stuff because they think they're better than the other people. These people think they're better than the people who took years to do it the right way and come in the right way. Okay. Yeah. They're the ones who cut in line and everything, say, no. I don't care. If you're doing it the right way, I'm doing it my way, because everybody thinks nowadays that they're more important than everyone else. That's the shit that pisses me off. And it's not just on an immigrant scale, or it's just people in general, the people in real life, the people I know, people who were supposed to be friends, you know what I mean? Who just anyway, this is going down the road I don't want to go down. But
but I can attest to what you're saying, because when I was at the university, all the building and grounds people were of Hispanic heritage, but they were either on legal work visa, which, they would come up, work for a year, take all the money they had saved, go back to Mexico, live like kings for a year, come back the next year, and it was all legal and above board. A lot of the people, especially a lot of Puerto Rican, a lot of Mexican, their parents or themselves or their grandparents came through the legal system. And it's a hard system. It's meant to be hard, so that when you're done with it, you have pride of accomplishment. When you finally take the oath and say the pledge, you have a newfound respect for not only your new country, but for yourself and for your family and for your fellow citizens. And that's why it's a hard system, because we don't want just anybody. We want the cream of the crop, the people who are going to stick with it, work hard, take the time to do it, and know that there is definitely a light at the end of that tunnel. But they hated the illegals coming over.
I'll tell you what, I'm suddenly hearing thunder. Hopefully I don't have any issues here.
Raymond was getting a lot of that on his stream, and it's I guess heading north again. I don't think we're getting anything yet.
Glenn Schroeder said, I took the Marine entrance exam and they were going to put me in an officer training, but music, I know where he's going, but music had me by the long hairs and I didn't commit. 3 days later, the first Gulf War started.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I
Hmm.
remember that.
Old Man Bird says, 21 in the U.S. Air Force, Gulf War vet. A lot of deployments, but it wasn't anything like Full Metal Jacket. Thank God for that.
Nope.
That's the real thing. Somalia and a few dangerous places out there still, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
SP4H, an album cover.
Hmm.
I think I missed something. Old Man Bird says, no man is better than Fez. Baumholder is a muddy hill in Germany. Oh, okay.
Ah,
I was going to say, because my first thought, that sounded German, because I instantly thought of General Burkholder from Hogan's Heroes.
yeah.
For some reason.
Oh, he was talking about the piece Sells Who's Buying album cover.
Oh, it's a cool cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Who's Buying that was released in 1986. So if you missed the last week's live stream, you can go back where we talked about lots of stuff from 1986, but
Yeah.
a lot of metal for sure. Glenn Schroeder says, I would have gone, though. Fortunately, I guess I didn't. I set my mind on metal. Yeah, it's hard when metal gets in there. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah. Oh,
Medical
thank
says,
you, Old Man Bird.
What's that?
Thank you, Old Man Bird. I appreciate that.
Yes. Matt Eagle says, I'm 35. I can still technically join up, but I fear my knees are already shot. LOL. Yeah, I hear you, man. Everything's going on me.
Yeah.
I'd be a good
another problem I had.
In the military. I'd be like a good roadblock or something. Just throw me. A couple guys pick me up and throw me and be like a speed bump or something. That's probably all I'd be good for. My heart's always been with, I remember back when the Gulf War and stuff was and all, I remember having shirts and stuff that said like this flag won't burn. And, I've always been very, very patriotic, so
yeah.
I don't know why I never just thought of like a military career or something,
Well, you had other things on your mind.
Well, that too. But, I always think, you see these army guys, most of them are these big, huge, towering individuals and stuff like that. And I've never been one to, I don't know. Never been into guns. That would have probably swung me the military way. I just never been into guns or anything. And I was I'd rather pick up a guitar than a gun, but it's not gonna win you a war, is it?
Well, look at it this way. If you know who Glenn Miller was, big band orchestra leader from back in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the military, in the entertainment part of it, and there's quite a bit there. You have your various brass bands, marching bands, also rock and roll bands and other kinds of bands. So if you can't do it one way, do it the other way. But we didn't know about this stuff back then. Nobody really talked about that. We're looking for a few good men, and they show you the obstacle course and some tanks and a few helicopters, whatever. But they don't tell you about, the bands and all that. And some of them were absolutely nuts. We had the Navy band show up at our high school once for an assembly, and it was the Navy Rock and Roll Band. And they were every bit as good as any band, that we're a fan of. And they went through Freebird, that whole guitar solo. Here's this guy about 5'6", balding, playing through that solo incredibly. Hi, Carla.
Hello.
Just punched
it just blew everybody away. It was awesome.
Nice. Hey, Carla, what's going on?
Hi. Just have a lot of people and children at my house, so had to wrangle a few things, but they're wrangled now, so.
Nice.
So you're hiding out from them.
Oh, definitely. When they're adult children, it's all right when I don't mind kids, I don't mind teenagers, but once they're adults, they're just so much bigger, and they take up way more room than they did when they were little toddlers screaming around the place, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had grandchildren for a few days now, so they go home tonight. Yeah.
Awesome.
Very nice.
How are you guys?
Eh,
no reason.
could be better, could be worse, could be living in
Oh.
a hearse.
Well, that's a philosophy for the age.
Yeah, that's my from my new book, Horton Hears What?
Mm.
Speak up! I can't hear you.
Yeah.
How are you, Fit?
I'm here. I'm a little crabby
Oh,
tonight, but
that's not nice. You have to
eh,
stop that rubbish.
it was a
You
bad.
gotta what?
It was a bad week, but it
Oh,
was
was
a quick week.
it?
At least it was over quickly. I thought it went quick.
Mhm.
Okay.
One bonus.
And you're having a guest on today?
Oh yeah. My buddy Sean K is supposed to be stopping by in about a half hour, hopefully,
Mhm.
if everything goes well. He was on once before. He's the guy. He does some rock music and makes some videos to go along with him too. He has a Sean K is his channel here on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
those really freaky videos, awesome stuff.
Yeah, pretty
Hey,
neat stuff.
and can I say happy birthday to Sandra a few days ago?
Sure.
Absolutely.
She's our Wonder Woman. She can do everything, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Wendy, we love you, and we hope you get better soon.
Yep.
100%. No. I like what Sars said here. He said, "Fat, we all have hindsight, even me. Let me tell you what. If I have hindsight, everybody definitely has hindsight. That's
Mhm. Well,
That's
that's
people
the
always
thing.
says
All the left turns I made in my life.
should be a NASCAR driver, John."
Yeah.
That's before he said, "You'll have to forgive us, former service members. Once acronyms start getting thrown out, there we start speaking a different language."
Yep.
Pilots. Everything is like every other word is an acronym.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So you don't want to be in a conversation with a pilot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's no better in the Navy.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because they probably all use the same measuring instruments, right? When they're doing stuff,
Yeah.
because it's all about like even the manuals have, the computers have, like every single thing a pilot says is an acronym for something.
Yeah. Because you end up with stuff like, ComSub Pact wants everybody to Abadabba the Alamo.
Oh what? Oh no, the pilots are more like we flew in the NDB via VOR and the CRT was blah blah. Like that's literally
Yeah.
what they talk like. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so awful.
Yeah.
That's before he said, "Nobody mentions MREs." Glenn Schroeder says, "Nobody should ever mention them." Tim said, I'm for people being here, but come here illegally." Yes,
Yep. Yeah.
agreed.
But
100%.
you know what? What got me was they were actually flying people illegal. The government were flying people on planes into your country. Like
Mhm.
that is not sedition, but whatever that is, that's what that was. Like I'm like, that's no longer illegal immigration. That's like illegal smuggling or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And you're seeing all these protests today. You know, thousands of those people that were flown in here are part of those protests and all,
No,
making
I'm
it
sure
look,
they are.
bigger than what it is and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Mm.
Matt Eagle said, "When my dad was serving, they still had mess halls and chow trucks."
Yep.
Sarge said, "I still
Oh
had C
yes.
rations. Not as good at MREs. What are C rations? I heard of it before."
There's C rations, K rations, and something else. They're basically a box with some canned or sealed food. Some of them you have to cook in your mess kit. The dinners apparently were horrible, but basically canned food. And that was in the old days of canning.
Matt Eagle had said,
Hi, Jill.
this from
Jill's in the
earlier.
chat.
Holy smokes. Hail, Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Hello, Jill. Matt Eagle said, here, ran away, brother. And then Sarge says, "I feel the same way, but let's have a good show." Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. This stuff lights me up, though. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It should. It should.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I can't say enough good about how our military has been, all in all over the years at keeping us out of trouble, keeping us safe. and the things nobody knows about. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Imagine and it's the veterans who I feel like should be looked after the most in your countries, right? It's the
Yeah.
veterans who are
Exactly.
shafted all the time, ignored, and yet you've got every month for every other thing except the people who like literally put their life on the line or their
Mhm.
limbs on the line for you, and they get a day.
Yeah.
How sad, I've always said, how sad and backwards is this country when athletes get multi-million
Yes.
dollar
Oh
contracts for
yeah,
three
that's a
years.
great point. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
3 years. And then
Yeah.
sit on the sidelines
Mm-hmm.
if they're injured and still get their
Mm-hmm.
money, and our soldiers can't even get proper health care. How
Yeah.
backwards
Yeah.
is this country? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you hear about that base that was basically taking the money from, soldiers put part of their income into a fund for them to be fed properly, right? And
Yeah.
basically they were spending a lot of money and they were getting really rubbish meals because they were doing something else with the money altogether.
Yeah. Well,
That was
that's
like
the
came out
thing.
last year or the beginning of this year or something like that. It was
Yeah,
just
that might have been part of
terrible.
the whole Doge thing, but yeah, it kind of
Oh yeah.
sucks when these football players are roaming around in mansions and we have combat vets on the streets.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Sickening.
that ain't right.
I reckon they should at least if you work at X amount of time for your country, like whatever
Mhm.
it is, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, you should get a house. Like you should get a house. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to be flash. It doesn't have to be flash or anything like that. But you should get
yeah,
something for like you literally put your life on the line.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Old
that's-
member said, "You care more about us than the SS United States. You are very patriotic." I care about both. I care about both. I care about the ship still.
yeah.
Glenn Miller, my grandfather played craps with him in 1944. Huh.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Oh, Sarge said towering individuals, question mark. Ha, I'm 5'7". He still took me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm 5. Well, I was 5'6" back then. I'm 5'5.5" now. But yeah, they put me in, and I lost a lot of weight in the Navy at boot camp at Great Mistakes, Illinois. And the reason was I was that
That's where I should live.
yeah.
Great mistakes.
yeah, nickname of Great Lakes. But yeah, the reason I lost all that weight is because the short guys are always at the back of the line and they become the road guards. So when
Oh.
we come to a crossing, we have to run up to the next crossing, hold up traffic, and then wait
Yeah.
for our group to go by, and then we join back in. And by the time we get to the mess hall, everybody else is eaten. We're the last ones in. You're lucky if you get a couple of grapes, and then it's company 120 up, out. You know,
Yeah.
and
So, John, you are technically the last in line.
mhm.
Carla's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah,
John, Tim wants to know which.
there you go. Now we know evil, divine.
No. Backwards. You're the bad. Oh, that's right. I got to point the wrong way because YouTube is backwards. But
Yeah.
he's the bad influence on me over there.
We know. Yeah, we've seen the opening, your opening credits of Fez.
Yeah.
It's hilarious every time.
Oh.
The John opener there.
Who? What? Where? When?
Hey, Tim wanted to know which Navy, John.
Oh, yeah, the one that's ours, the U.S. Navy.
That's before it says hi, Carla.
Hello.
Yeah.
The Sarge says what? Go ahead, John.
I was in the Navy that doesn't drop their ships in the water the way Korea does.
In the Navy.
Not that part.
Sarge said, not infantry, real soldier, but still found a spot. Army needs all
I'll
kinds.
try my other glasses.
Yep.
What if
Yeah,
they need
especially
see.
now, all the specialties they have.
What if they're looking for an evil
technology.
genius?
Always. They call them planners.
No, they should hire me to do like all their posters. I can make like
Yes.
non-flattering posters like Kim Jong-un and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I could be like the minister of
Mm.
propaganda or something like that.
Mhm.
Well, that's the thing. If you were to
We'll see.
actually throw together something that was very patriotic and very, say, go Army or whatever, and send it to the Pentagon, who knows? You could be put up for consideration.
Yeah, but then that would put me on their radar, and then they'll check out like my YouTube channel, my Twitter, and
Yeah.
they'll come and arrest me.
Yeah. But
No more internet for Fet.
Yeah. Internet blackout for me.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Eagle said Glenn Miller went missing during World War II, didn't he?
Yep.
I guess I
He
just said
did.
yeah, that shot down. He did? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one of the rarely told stories. But he was on his way into France to do a USO show, and the plane disappeared.
Oh, you should have looked up the different people who have have been in navies or armies. Wasn't
Mhm.
the guy who's on Star Wars not Palpatine? Christopher someone Lee.
Lee.
Oh,
Wasn't
Christopher
Christopher
Lee. Yeah,
Lee? Wasn't he in an army or
he was
navy or something?
British military intelligence.
Yeah, he was like a Nazi hunter
Mm.
or something. He was a badass.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and Clark Gable, Glenn Ford, Ernest
Clark
Borgnine.
Gable?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he was a gunner in I think it was a B-17.
Oh wow,
And,
that's cool.
Jimmy Stewart was a B-17 pilot,
Mm-hmm.
and a general. And let's see.
Wow.
Eddie Arnold, George Kennedy.
Adam Driver
I mean,
did
it-
something
it
to do.
just
I
goes-
don't know. I'm
He
not
was a
really
Marine.
soldier.
Yeah, he was a
Oh,
Marine.
he was a Marine. Yeah.
Yeah. You see all these rumors lately of these stars being connected with like the CIA and stuff. Like Mike Myers is supposedly the newest. He's
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
connected or something. But then he
Well,
just
they
went
all-
on. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go.
But then he just did that stunt. Didn't he just do a stunt on Saturday Night Live where he wore a shirt that said like Canada's not for sale or something like that?
Who
knows?
cares?
Well, yeah, I mean, who cares? It's not weird.
Yeah, but Woody Harrelson's dad was part of Watergate, right?
Something like that.
I think he was part of something to do with Watergate, and then he was on. Was he on the movie to do with Watergate? But
No,
yeah.
but
What
I think
what? Sorry. Keep
he
going.
was somewhere on the wrong side of the law. I forget what the thing was.
Tucker Carlson applied for his dad was in the CIA, and I think he applied for the CIA.
Yeah.
And that guy, and white guy, with dark glasses. He was in the CIA.
Mhm.
Rich guy. He comes from a rich family. Oh, what's his name? Anderson. Something Anderson. Anderson
Oh,
Cooper. Anderson
yeah.
Cooper. I'm pretty sure he was in the CIA or something like that.
I
And
don't know.
once you're in this,
I know he's descended from, I think, the Chanel family or one of the Maybelline, one of those
Yeah,
families in the
a rich,
makeup
yeah.
and perfume industry. So he came in rich.
Mm-hmm.
Tim says the CCR went ELO.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creedence Clearwater Revival went Electric Light Orchestra.
I just watched a video today. Okay, you guys probably already know this, but I'm not like a Boston expert, the band Boston. I just,
Right.
I know more than a feeling. And I do know a couple other songs, but other than that, that's it. That's my experience with Boston. And I didn't know that the singer took his own life. And I actually watched a video today that it seems to be much stranger than what everyone thought.
Yeah.
That, he had apparently he had the guitar player, I think it was, sister living with him or something like that, and they were like supposedly really good friends or something like that. No kind of relationship supposedly or anything, but from what they were saying in this video, Brad Delp installed a camera in her bedroom or something like that. And that actually, I guess when he got caught, it was too much for him to handle or something. Is according to this video, that's when he take his own life, man. And for
What?
Yeah, but like for years they were blaming the
Oh.
guitar player for like some incident between him and the singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
I
strange.
don't know.
Oh,
Well, it's the
that's-
internet. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's YouTube. I mean, there's idiots like me making videos on YouTube. So,
Well, there's some outright liars out there who'll
That's
make
true.
something up just for clicks.
that's true.
But, where'd she go?
Oh, I think she's just off camera. She's still here.
Oh, okay. But
She said, Sandra, my pleasure. You're amazing.
yeah,
SP4H. We have ROEs in this AOR. Okay, you guys are getting carried away now. For sure.
Row, you roar.
Hello, Jill.
Yeah.
You got to check out Steve 1989 MRE info YouTube channel. I'm assuming.
I would assume that's on MREs.
Jill says hello, Carla.
Oh,
Hi there.
I'm trying to wear glasses so I don't have to keep looking up, but I don't think I can get the right ones.
Oh well, life
I'll try
happens.
again.
Matty Go wants to know if Jill got any more Super Mario RPG in. That's the thing. I wish for years I thought I was so lame. I used to, my kids would play video games and I'd be like, you're wasting your time. But man, these people start these YouTube and Twitch channels and play games, and people it amazes me that people will sit and watch people play games. I'm like, maybe that's what I should have done with my life. Just sat around playing video games because it's like all the rage now. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But then
what I don't get is the whole Mario Brothers thing, because it started with Donkey Kong, which is a game named after a donkey, starring a gorilla, featuring a plumber. I have seen nothing to do with a donkey. Donkey, where are you?
I'll be honest, I like me some Donkey Kong when I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool game.
I just like Space Invaders.
I like that too.
That one I could win.
I liked almost anything Atari. I was an Atari kid. I really did love Atari. I just don't know. I guess I blame guitar. It was around the time when I started playing guitar that I gave up playing video games, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Fell out of love with them. Fell into guitar, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's like my one nephew. He used to always say to me, he's like, he was big on that, like when that Rock Band came out. Oh man, you got to get this Rock Band. It shows you how to play the thing. You can play it. Like I play it really. Like I really play it. I don't need to play a video game. I play the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. And back in the day, we didn't have the home Ataris and all that. That was way too expensive. But we'd go out to the arcade or, any restaurant had 3 or 4 machines. The airport at Avoca had a whole bunch of them.
Those two back in the day.
Yeah. And, everywhere was Space Invaders. And then that one with the caterpillar that keeps growing, and Tetris, and Miss Pac-Man was a favorite of mine, because that one, if you bang the side of the machine, all the code comes up on the screen. That was neat.
The Fawn's over there. Hey.
Yeah.
I like Tim said, and you should never pay taxes again. Yeah, that's another thing too.
Yeah.
I heard a little rumbling there for a while. That good old T-Rump is talking about eliminating property taxes. That sure would be sweet.
Yeah.
That is such a racket right there. It's like, do you own your property or don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Well, here's the
thing. You're renting it.
You got to remember something about property taxes is they go all the way back to the very beginning of the country. And that was a thing where it was everybody paid into the kitty to build roads, and build their local government, what have you there. So I'm not that bad on property taxes, other than they get wasted and they keep raising them. The income tax should be eliminated. All income taxes, sales taxes, that should all get eliminated. And, especially if you're a serviceman trying to build up from, coming out with your discharge, you should be able to keep what money you get to build your life up to the standard that everybody else is shooting for, because you haven't had the time to build up. You've been in the military.
The sergeant says his mom went through Navy boot at Great Lakes in World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, man, that makes me think, I've been revealing some of my guilty pleasures in the world of music lately. That makes me think of Allentown by Billy Joel. I like some Allentown. That's
a good song.
Joel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That our mothers in the USO.
Yeah. Although I take issue with the one line where he says they've dug up all the coal from the ground. There was never any coal mines in Allentown.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few incorrect lines in that song and stuff. I think, wasn't he not even playing it there for a while?
He refused to play it when he played the Stabler Arena at the university. And it was just because, I don't want people getting mad at me for saying the wrong things there. Because he knew we'd messed up. But
it doesn't bug me because I don't even think about it in being Pennsylvanian as well. Yeah. I don't even look at it as an Allentown song. I think of it as a Pennsylvania town. I kind of think of my town. Even though I'm singing Allentown, I still think my town. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. It's still, there was a lot of coal mines in Pennsylvania and all. So it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Now, zinc mines we had in the Allentown area, actually Bethlehem, but close enough. Right across the river. The hell was that?
Oh, check this out. Sandra said her dad knew Glenn Miller and grew up with him.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, Tommy and Jimmy Dorsey, who eventually grew to hate each other.
Oh, cool. So, are there any bands that stay together? It always seems like, they broke up. They broke up.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it was a family disagreement, and they were in competition with each other, let's face it. But, I did get to meet who was the guy with the clarinet? Rhapsody in Blue. Damn.
I don't do music.
Come on, Sandra, help me out.
I can't help you with that one, Brother John.
Not Glenn Miller, not the Dorsey brothers. Oh,
Willie now? No, he doesn't do a clarinet, does he? He does.
No, this guy was, heyday of the '40s, the big band era. But he came
clarinet. All I can hear is Wham now. That.
Oh God!
Like I don't even know the name of the song, but. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's Tommy.
Careless Whisper.
Yeah, that one. I don't know why, but that popped in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Clarence Clements, was he no, he was sax, wasn't
he? He was sax. Great player. Well, let me see.
What did Kenny G play?
He played various woodwind instruments.
Oh, that's right.
But he was famous for that clarinetish thing. I don't remember what they called it though.
Kenny G. No, not Kenny G. He's from the 90s. What did he play? What did Kenny G play?
I couldn't even tell you. Elevator music, right? Wasn't it?
I know.
I don't know. I just
what
like
instrument?
Benny Goodman.
Benny Goodman.
That's I got to shake hands with him. That was a great show.
Oh.
He was in his 80s, I guess. And he'd come out and play a song and just blow his lungs right out, run backstage to the oxygen tank, get a whole bunch of breaths, and come out and do it again. He was really something.
I don't know. I never even considered going down that path of playing like the trumpet or the clarinet. I just, the thought of taking a long, hard object, sticking it in your mouth and blowing it just never appealed to me. It was just, I don't know. That's pretty far, I guess.
Yeah. And Well, that's how Ronnie James Dio developed his voice, though, was playing trumpet, which he hated, but it developed the breath control.
I can see it developing
Mm.
lungs though for sure.
Mm.
Well, it's like people give Kip Winger a lot of crap because early in his career he took ballet, you know,
Mhm.
about the coordination and all that there sort of thing.
Mm.
So, but that's
Yeah.
another thing I couldn't imagine myself taking. But
Well,
you
that's
know,
the thing. You know who Rosie Greer is?
was he a football player?
Yeah.
Was that the
He-
Fridge or something?
No, this was before him.
Hmm.
But he was big black mountain of a man, great football player, nice guy. He took ballet.
Hmm.
And a
I can
whole
see
bunch
it.
of football players did because it loosens up the muscles.
Yeah, and,
You
and
know,
coordination
Oh.
stuff like that. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
In
File
New Zealand, the
13.
rugby. In New Zealand, the rugby players used to want jobs on the rubbish trucks because they would get
Mhm.
you fit, and so you'd be running along and you'd be throwing the rubbish into the
Yeah.
bin. So
Yeah. File 13 is here.
Yeah, I'm getting behind here. Let me run through this real quick.
oh
He told Peter Jackson what stabbing someone actually sounds like. I'm guessing that was Christopher.
yeah.
that Christopher Lee. Yeah.
Sorry, said my dad was in Patton's. I can't read, man. My dad was in Patton's Third Army in World War II. I later met Patton's son when I was in the army in Germany. Nice. I told him the story.
Mm.
Cool.
Nice.
Tim says, and he let me say Christopher Lee deleted a few people as part of his job. He never talked about it. Yeah,
Yep.
that was one of the cool things,
Yeah.
man. He didn't have to wave a flag or anything. He just
Mhm. He was the real deal.
he was a cool dude.
Mm.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah, he was in the army.
Lee Marvin, too, was in the USMC.
Yep.
Old Man Bird said Woody Harrelson's dad was a bank robber in jail in Louisiana.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Mm.
Charles
Yeah.
Harrelson, Woody's dad, was a you know what, for hire and
Yeah.
an organized crime figure.
Mhm.
He's a Kennedy Fez.
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper is Gloria Steinem's son.
Yes, that's the one.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
He's a Vanderbilt.
Matt says my buddy's uncle is a CIA spook. I met him one time. Most normal looking dude you'll ever imagine. Kind of like young meathead. I almost said metalhead.
Yeah.
Meathead on Archie Bunker.
Yeah. Isn't that pronounced Meathead?
Was Meathead normal looking?
Fat balding guy.
Well, no, even back then in the Archie Bunker days. He was kind of a hippie, you know, like
Yeah. Still fat balding guy.
well, now, yeah, for sure. And insane these days.
Yes.
Very insane. Archie Bunker, though, somebody's been sharing some clips of him on Twitter recently, and I can't.
Yeah.
I have to watch him.
Mhm.
Carol O'Connor was so damn funny as Archie Bunker.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, the thing of it was it's weird because like my mom was really strict with TV and like in the 90s and all, married with children, no, never wasn't allowed in the house. But when I was a little kid, she watched Archie, and so I would repeat things that he said, and it always got me in trouble. But it was like your show. I learned it from your guy there, but
As long as you didn't call her a dingbat, you're good.
hopefully I never did that. Brad had issues. Oh, Brad, yeah, Brad dealt trying to prevent his fiance's sister from discovering something pervy he did. Very, very sad. Yeah, that's the video I saw today. I never heard that until today.
Yeah.
That's weird. Because I mean, he was the singer of Boston. You know what I mean? You'd think he'd pretty much be able to get chicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the thing,
one of the most phenomenal voices I've ever heard, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Killer voice.
yeah. Sarge, that's what the best spooks are. They blend in, not to be noticed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's the thing about people who are attacked. Like, oh, I was attacked in a car, and that it's not the scary people who look scary you need to worry about because people, it's the normal people,
Yeah.
you need to worry about the con man or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Old Man Bird said Tom Schultz can be obnoxious, and he thought he drove Delp to insecurity/depression. Yeah, that's another thing I learned about the guitar player today. How he was sounded like he was more jealous to me because they said how Brad Delp was allowed to go off and do other things outside of Boston, and they were preventing that dude from kind of doing his own thing, and it kind of made him angry.
Yeah.
That's what I got from the video, but. MRE consumes our MREs and much older.
Old and older, yeah. You couldn't pay me to do that.
Kind of like me, old and getting older every day. It's wild, but she's playing a game I spent hundreds of hours on when I was a kid. Jill?
Yeah, probably.
Matt says he sucks at instruments. I got no rhythm in my body. Can't dance either. I can't dance. For sure I can't dance. And I can kind of barely even sing, but there's probably an instrument out there you could play.
Barely sing.
Yeah.
You sing really well, you liar.
Okay, I won't argue.
Yeah,
But-
I can't
You do.
dance. City ordinance.
Well, the thing of it is a lot of people think they can play an instrument, but
Yeah.
that also helps teach you rhythm and timing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've noticed from not practicing. I can still play a lot like I used to, but my sense of timing is way out there. Like I need
Oh, really?
yeah. Like at least unaccompanied. Like if I had a drummer or something here keeping time, then I just I listened to like some of the stuff I played a couple of weeks ago and stuff. I'm like totally like timing is out the window. I'm just like I was just jamming on that thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a difference between just jamming and actually practicing. And I was just
Okay.
jammed a couple of weeks ago, but as you work at it, it's like everything, you have to work at it. A lot of people
Yeah.
pick up an instrument for, I can't really speak on many other, but like people will pick up a guitar and they're metal strings and whatnot. And then they do tend to hurt your fingers. It takes a little time to get used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you stick with it,
It helps you develop focus too.
for most people, not this guy. Totally unfocused. No. John's right though. I mean, there was a time, when like back when I was with the band and stuff, I had to focus on what I was doing more.
Yeah. Let's see.
Sarge, anyone else build the Lego adult version Millennium Falcon? It was my first build. Good Lord, that was insane.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
over 1,000 pieces or something. Isn't it like how
Probably
many
over
pieces is that?
$1,000 too.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
And it must be
insane.
more than 1,000 then.
When I was a kid, I had just like some generic Lego set that I just used to build stuff with. But as an adult,
Yeah.
I'm too much of a collector now, and I don't even collect Legos because number one, they're too expensive
Yeah.
to enjoy because
Mm.
I don't take things out of the box,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
fun is building Legos. So I just can't. Yeah, I can't
So the
justify.
thing about Lego,
Go ahead.
you can get your money back. Like you say, you spend $100 on the Lego, you can build the thing and then you can take it apart and you could sell it for the same price or more because probably after a few months, maybe 6 months, they're often out of stock again or they're not running them
Yeah.
anymore. And that's the only thing about Lego is you do get your money back or more.
Yeah.
Like I reckon have the old Harry Potter Lego is probably going to be worth more now because it's got all the old figures from the movie. Whereas they're not going to have when they bring out the new Harry Potter, they'll bring out the new character Lego. So
Mhm.
I reckon that the old Lego will be worth more.
Yeah. And there was the one guy built the Millennium Falcon Lego thing and gave it to Harrison Ford on a TV show, and he dropped it.
Oh.
Then we found out later it was staged.
Oh. Okay.
You know.
Old Man Bird said good night. SP4. Somebody going to bed?
Good night. It's B4H.
Good
Hey,
night.
real quick. We have a guest.
Sorry, that was a
We have
while
a guest here
ago.
on the channel. Everybody, let's welcome my buddy, Sean K. Hey, man. What's going on?
Hello.
Hey there.
All's well on my side, man. Looks like I showed up just in time. A bit of a Lego geek myself.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
We've
No
got a lot of
Star-
Lego at our house.
I didn't build any Star Wars stuff. You ever seen that? They call it the bucket wheel excavator.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
I put that thing together. It was like there's like 4,000 pieces in it. It's the biggest tech kit they ever did. I think I paid
Wow.
like $300, but like all Lego stuff, as you probably know, is like it's limited edition,
Mm.
and they're selling it for like $1,000 now, man.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. You
It's
just have
neat.
to
It's
keep it all together.
yeah, it's neat. It's motorized. It moves in like
Mhm.
three different
Is
ways and
that
stuff.
Technic? Is it Technic
It
stuff
is.
or
Yeah, it's the
okay?
biggest
So it
Technic that
is.
they ever did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh.
Oh, holy smokes! File 13 is here.
Yes.
Stream surfing and ran into this one. Hola, chat panel. Keep pasa.
hello.
Hey, man, thanks for, or not to assume genders.
Oh, that was a while ago now, I suppose.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's before he said Kip Winger's biggest sin was just being too damn good looking for his own good. You know,
Mm.
to this day, I hate that it was bad enough what Lars did to him in that
Yeah.
video with his picture on the dartboard. But Beavis, I love me some Beavis and Butthead, but man, that sucks because they pretty much killed the career of a great band.
Yeah.
And that's a hill I will still die on. That I say
Mhm.
Winger is a great band.
Yes.
Red Beast is a phenomenal guitar player, and I will die on that hill.
Yeah. And Kip was not a bad bass player at all.
No, and a phenomenal singer
Yeah.
as well.
And Sean's got a new video come out today, I believe.
Last night I did it. But yeah,
Last night.
I've been trying to put out one a week. It's like I kind of got into the real thing
Whoa.
here lately, and I don't know. I realized there's a different audience for
Mhm.
content that fits on the screen of your phone.
Ah,
People
Oh,
like
yeah,
stuff
that's
that's
true,
designed
that's
for the
true.
handheld.
Yeah.
neat. Well, whatever works.
Well, this latest thing kind of delivered beyond my expectations. It's like I don't know. It's like I'm an artist, and I kind of I start off tinkering, and then I don't know. When I sat down and I watched it, I was like, "Damn, that came out good."
Yeah.
Hmm.
What are you using for recording? Computer or?
I'm on a
So-
Mac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do everything on a Mac. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned you have a Telecaster you use.
I do. I have like you would not believe the array of guitars that I have here. But there is a 72 Tele Deluxe, which is like I don't know if for anyone that's listened to that first record, it is the majority of what you hear on it.
Cool. Is it
but,
brown with a white pick guard?
No, I call it
good.
I call it the Snow Miser. It's like light blue with like the crackly kind of pearloid pickguard.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay.
It's cool looking, man.
Well, the reason I ask is I had a 72 that I took down to Spabo in Scranton and had to sell. Going back about 20 years now. It
was that chocolate brown they were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to have one like it many years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the what I used as the template for Dirty Diana hanging up there.
Right on, man.
You know, and that was the first guitar I built, the first body I built. I finally just finished it a few months ago, and that was back in the 90s. I started that.
Cool.
So, it took a while, but I got there.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat looking build, man.
Thank you.
I always catch the show on the rerun. I know I'm not always here, but I was on the other week when you were demoing that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, my fingers don't work like they used to, but you know, I'll take some inspiration from FET and start practicing again.
Right on.
At least I'm good for something.
Oh yeah, you're an inspiration.
Last night I put this old dreadnought I got laying around. I put an old like an alternate banjo tuning on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been finger picking lately, and it's a pretty
Awesome.
interesting result.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't your normal banjo tuning. I started listening to this. There's this girl named Nora Brown. She does very Appalachian style. I mean, she's modern. She's probably 20 years old only, and
Yeah.
she's like knocking this old clawhammer banjo stuff out of the park. It's really
Wow.
cool. It's deep. It's dark, and but she plays in a lot of alternate tunings. You know,
Huh.
because being a luthier, that like the tuning on a banjo is actually it's kind of the reverse of the lowest four strings on a guitar. Where you have E, A, D, G, and the banjo is tuned like that. The high note is E, and then it comes backwards. A,
Right.
D, G.
And then there's the ones with the fifth string halfway up the neck. I don't remember what that one is.
Yeah, she puts a bass string on hers.
Okay.
Wow.
It's
Crazy.
cool, yeah, because like there's this extra depth that you don't normally hear out of a banjo. There's like this real low note in the background. It's like it's really cool. But
nice.
yeah, I was watching one of her videos, and her tones are so deep, and I was just like, man, I Googled up. I'm like, what tuning is she using? And it said, what was it? It was D, G, C, D. It's kind of I play in a lot of alternate tunings, but those three notes together, I hadn't encountered another tuning that used those, but I tuned it up that way last night and just started finger picking a little bit, and it did some stuff that it blew my freaking mind, man.
That's nice.
Pretty cool.
When you discover something new and it just like inspires you and lights that fire again, you know, that's really
totally.
Yeah. And then some of the tricks they get to in the studios. One is the Nashville, I forget what they call it, Nashville something, but they'll play a song with a regular acoustic guitar strung up normally, and then they'll double it with a different acoustic guitar that has all the strings are the higher gauge.
Sure.
So it sounds like a 12 string, but it sounds different than a 12 string, but it gives you that jangle, you know. Carla
lost Carla.
disappeared. She vanished, evaporated.
Oh, and by the way, for those that would like to check out Sean's latest tune, that is the link down there, by the way. And this one here is the link to his channel. So please check him out.
Hey, awesome, man. Thank you for that.
Welcome, man. So what you got? You got anything? Well, you sort of said you're trying to put out a video constantly, basically.
Yeah, that's it, man. Pretty much. I'm truck driving. That's how I pay the bills. And then, but yeah, I got this little bit of an art thing going on, and but that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I believe the U.S. Copyright Office is broken. I have probably 20 songs sitting over there for about 3 months now.
Wow.
Yeah, they got like they usually, I would say, I don't know, months ago, they had about a 6-week turnaround.
Yeah.
Now, who knows, man? I paid my money. I submitted my songs, and they just sit there. So I have fresh material. I have like these 20 songs on this first album that I've been tinkering around with. I did full-length videos for everything. I did this big, gigantic, I know some of you have seen it, the Sean K movie, where I kind of assembled everything into this feature-length thing.
I was listening to that in the wood shop, and that actually calmed me down quite a bit because I was having a rough day.
Yeah, that's the idea. It's like I'm just I always had the rock star dreams and stuff, but I don't know. It never really came together for me. I certainly did my share of playing and gigging and all that stuff. Yeah, but it never really took off. It's like I was one of these guys that what me and Fett should have did when we were back in the day. We should have packed up and just gone to LA. Yeah, we would have made it. We would have made it if we were there.
If Poison could do it.
Yeah, you got that right.
You'd have blown them off the stage 6 times over.
Yeah. My biggest problem was I had faith in all the wrong people. And I thought we could just make it work here,
I guilty, man.
Should have went out west.
I did the exact same thing. It's like you get to thinking, and like I was in other throughout my lifetime, I was still playing music. I was in bigger cities, thinking that you could make it there because they have a good music scene and stuff like that. But it's like if the scouts aren't there, it's not the place where you're going to make it. It's like you have to go to the hot spot.
Yeah, you're not going to make it playing in Scranton or Hazelton.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, things have changed with the World Wide Web that, like, it's easy to get worldwide exposure now, but it's not getting you the clout that you need behind you to become a household name.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the business itself has changed dramatically
Mm-hmm.
because nobody's buying albums anymore. It's all Spotify and
That's
Yep.
true.
downloads and all this, and you're getting maybe 3 cents a play.
That's right.
Real quick shout out to Tippy Tail McKitty in the chat there.
Hello. Hello.
Hey there.
Having said that, you hear people like Prince talk
Yeah.
about how people who basically deals with record albums are
Mhm.
really ripped off.
Yeah.
Like you work so hard for the man.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of these older bands from the 80s are constantly touring, is because they're not getting jack diddly for royalties anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never been a huge fan of Prince, but I gotta say, he was brilliant. He's an excellent musician. In hindsight, yeah, he could really play.
Yeah.
But that thing that he did when he changed his name to that symbol to get basically work around the contract was freaking brilliant.
It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That and that
he was a
cloud
businessman.
guitar.
He was a businessman. Like fancy
Yeah.
being such a businessman and such an artist. Like there can't be many of them around.
Yeah.
Well, they're not around anymore, are they? But
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson, businessman as well as very creative.
Right.
Yeah.
Real quick, just want to say good night to Sandra. Sandra says good night, everyone.
Good night, Sandra.
Night,
We're
Sandra.
quitting fast. Thanks again for the wonderful video. You are quite welcome. Yeah. King Dolphin says we're tapping out. Take care, brother man. You too. Thanks for stopping
Yeah,
in.
good night.
Take care, Raymond.
Have a great night, you too. Two Tail said Black Country Communion is touring Europe right now.
Oh, that's Glenn Hughes, isn't it?
That I don't know.
I think that's one of his.
Well, Carla
Cool.
knows nothing.
Let's see.
Tim said I found Prince. No fingerprints. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Enjoy the pit, buddy. Yeah, I think I talked about it once before. I was never a big Prince fan myself, but and unfortunately, it wasn't until his passing and I started paying attention. I don't know if that was what caused me to do it or what, but I started paying attention to some of his old concert footage and stuff, especially when he was playing with other musicians and stuff. And when he was playing guitar, and I could focus more on his guitar and his singing and stuff. And yeah, he was a hell of a guitar player for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, not my taste, but I can't take away the talent. You know, he was brilliant.
Oh, 100%.
He wrote that Sinead O'Connor song, "Nothing Compares to You." Did you know that?
Yeah. The
He's
Bangles.
written a lot of songs.
What was it? Manic Monday too. He wrote that. He wrote that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
When
Actually.
they found, like in his vault, they found like over 200, or was it? He had hundreds or thousands of unpublished songs in his vault, and they had to break into his vault to get to them when he died.
Huh.
Like how I don't know. Is that
The
what do you call
joys
it?
of a home studio.
Is that paranoid or is it what? Yeah.
Well, a little bit of that and a little bit of, in general, you've got to protect your work.
The Sarge. Did you
the
say it was
days
Sarge, right?
the days of the poor man's copyright of, mailing it to yourself with the postmark on it. Those are over.
You know, I've done that, and that was an urban legend.
Yeah.
It turns out many years later, it's like I've done that. I recorded the stuff. I stuck it in a sealed sealed envelope, mailed it to myself, certified.
Yeah.
So I could prove receipt of it. That was never a thing.
Yeah.
I think
a lot of people thought it was and did that.
But yeah, it's like that was the thing. And he said, well, if you can't really do all the paperwork and go through the copyright office and all that jazz, just do this. And it was like this word on the street. No problem, man. If anybody ever steals your stuff, you can just take this envelope to court. And it turns out that was never a thing, man.
I think that might be with screenplays. It might be with screenplays. because I think it's Sid Field. I was listening to a Sid Field book on screenwriting, and he said something like not. It wasn't to yourself though. It was send a letter to uh, like maybe a publishing place or something like that. But
Well, there
yeah,
was the other
that's
one
what he
was
said.
you can take it to a judge and have him put his seal on the envelope.
All right.
You know, and I don't think that was ever really gonna make it either.
Yeah, like,
Careful throwing that
Mm.
word seal around. You might wake up Snortopupus.
Ah, yes.
The Sarge said he went to high school with Prince. Is that true?
That
That's
is
kinda
No
neat.
very
kidding.
cool.
that's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Matt Eagle. I loved when he played the end of "As My Guitar Gently Weeps." Yeah, I think I just watched that.
Yeah.
And this throws the guitar straight up in the air and it floats away on wires. No, that's not the one I saw. I didn't see that. It was so cool.
Neat.
That sounds cool. I'll have to look for that.
Yeah.
Two Tails saw Bonham about 40 years ago at the music fest at Alpine Valley.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, John Bonham was one hell of a drummer, and his son turned out to be just as good.
Yeah, you got that right.
I've never been super huge on Led Zeppelin. I don't know why. I think it's Robert Plant's voice. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I respect of everything. When I do hear a Led Zeppelin song,
Yeah.
I
Well,
I'm just gonna
focus on
go
the
because
drums.
the grandchildren are making a lot of
I
noise
think-
now, and it's the last day. So I'm just gonna pop out. Sorry,
Alright.
and yeah, I'll see if you're still there
Okay.
when they're all quieted down.
yeah.
Okay, see ya.
All right, bye-bye.
Have a good one,
Bye.
Carla.
See you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, my.
Oh, am I still here?
Yep.
You're here.
All right, I froze for a second there. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm over here.
I know what I was going to say. I totally noticed how Vinny Appice
Yeah.
really tried to emulate John Bonham's drum tone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons it catches my man. I froze
Yeah.
again. Am I still here?
Yeah.
All right. It's weird because we had the thunder earlier. I don't hear anything now. It doesn't even sound like it's raining, but on my end, I'm freezing here.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
hold
John Bonham, I got a kick out of when I heard Moby Dick. And it's like, wow, how does he do that?
All that I can do is wait for you. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that song. Yeah, I remember that guy. They did their best to find a guy that really sounded like Robert Plant, I thought.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not a big fan of his voice, so I guess that's why I never really got into Bonham the band.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was John Bonham, and the only other one I ever heard that was close to him was Bobby Rondinelli, who was with Black Sabbath, or not Black Sabbath, Rainbow. And he was really awesome.
The Sarge confirms at Minneapolis Central High School. I was a senior, class of 74. He was a sophomore, class of 76.
Awesome.
Nice. Uh-oh. TP Tail's yelling at me. He says, "Oh, no, we have to cancel FET now for having a different opinion on Led Zeppelin." LOL. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't dislike Led Zeppelin. They're okay. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I think I spoke about it many a time. I was at the right age when Kiss was like the height of everything, and anything before Kiss was kind of like off the radar for me for a long time. And I don't know, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I freezing?
A little bit every now and then.
Hmm.
But you're still here. I'm still hearing you good.
What a surprise, man. This week has totally sucked. Watch me have some internet issues yet, too.
Nah. It'll be fine.
Tippy Tail graduated in 90.
Oh, wow.
Same year, dude. Same year here, brother.
Yep.
It's funny when Carla said that they had to break in the Prince's vault, I was thinking, do you remember when they opened Al Capone's vault back in the 80s?
Yep.
Yeah, big nothing.
Yeah,
Yep.
what a bummer, huh?
I almost said
Yeah.
nothing burger. I hate that term. I hate when people, remember when nothing burger was like a super huge thing?
Yeah.
I almost said it. I never wanted to say that in my life, and it almost came out of my mouth.
Yeah. All they found was that Coke bottle, and somehow, what's his name, got a career out of that. And it's like, no, this should have failed. He should never be on the news.
It was
That was,
Geraldo, right?
It was
Yeah.
Geraldo, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he became the biggest Richard on the planet.
Yeah, he's kind of, I don't know. There's something about him, but he had the Charlie Manson interview and all that stuff before that.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
he was
there is
doing
that.
stuff that was like really cutting edge.
Yeah.
Arguably sellout type stuff.
Yeah.
He was going for the obvious, over the top,
Yeah.
scandalous
Looking-
things.
Looking for that sweet, sweet money and that sweet, sweet Pulitzer Prize. I don't know. Never liked the guy. And in later years, he just became more and more obnoxious. But that's me.
The funny thing was that did kind of hurt Geraldo's career there for a little while.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was I compared the same thing to a couple of years ago there with what's her name, Rachel Maddow there.
Yeah. Geez.
Where she was supposed to do that big reveal on a certain president's tax returns, and it was big, God damn it! I almost said nothing burger again. What the hell? This night just keeps getting worse and worse.
Think nothing pizza.
Next thing I'm going to say stoked, because I never cared for that. I'm going to stop. Watch from this day forward. I'm going to start saying I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'll end the stream tonight. I'll say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay stoked.
Yeah. Like your furnace.
Oh, don't even bring that thing up.
Yeah.
Matthew said, I could never stand that guy or Howard Stern.
Yeah, I
did like Howard Stern. What was it? Maybe early 90s, whatever, when he had the original TV show. Like I didn't, we didn't have him on radio around here or anything, but when he had the original show, I thought that was pretty cutting edge and stuff like that. And kind of introduced me to the world of lesbians. But and Fifth Angel. Fifth Angel as well. I never heard Fifth Angel before him, so I have to thank him for that. And he was always a big fan of the band Enough Is Enough, which I kind of particularly like as well.
Yeah.
Anyone unfamiliar with them, they're kind of more like a more modern Beatles kind of band.
Yeah.
Matt says Maddow is an angry dude. He sure is.
Yes, he is.
Matter of fact, I have a short on my channel a while back. I don't know why, but I was just fooling around with a picture of her, and I put a mustache on her, and she looked like Geraldo. It's the funny thing we're talking about just now, but if you go to, I have a short on my channel where she has a mustache. She looks like Geraldo.
And Geraldo isn't around anymore.
What happened to him? Is he dead?
Maybe he is Rachel Maddow.
I think he is actually still around. There was something going on with him there for a while, because I didn't think he was around. I forget what it was. He came out of the woodwork and was trashing somebody. I forget who though.
Well, he got a real news job for a while, I thought, on like one of the big networks. Well, he was like an anchor person.
He was CNN, I think, or Fox.
Yeah, I thought I saw him on one of the bigger networks.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say. I haven't watched the news since. And as a matter of fact, the only thing I was watching for the longest time was Fox News. And when they called the election on election eve, I haven't watched them since. I get all my stuff right here on YouTube and Twitter, X, whatever. X.
Yeah.
Because at least on X, it gets fact checked, and not just by one side. It's kind of down the middle. You know what I mean? It's not biased to one side or the other.
Yeah.
So I trust for the most part, I trust to get my news and stuff off of X.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then you can also see real people discussing it and things like that too. You're not just getting force fed something by some puppet in a suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
But here, Sarge had said, dude, I totally believe you. But he says the Minneapolis Central High School 1974 yearbook is available online. Prince is in there. Me too. You'll have to guess who I am. Huh. There you go, everyone. There's a mission for everyone. There you go, John. You like this stuff.
Ah, yes.
Fez is on a mission now. I bet you. We're gonna find out who the Sarge is.
Well,
You just threw down the gauntlet, man.
If I could get in there during the live stream, it's possible. But when doing the live stream kind of thing, my computer takes up all its energy on that, and I can't even do Wikipedia.
Matt Eagle's boss listens to Eric the Midget, plays for hours on end. Is that a Howard Stern person? I don't know that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm way back. I know like Baba Booey and Stuttering John. That's how far back I was with Howard Stern. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know Beetlejuice was more of a new character of his.
Yeah.
That little black. I don't know Eric the Midget though. Tippy Tail. I saw Stern's movie. I liked it. Not now though. Yeah, Private Parts. I don't know. I think that's where he started selling out right there.
Yeah, and he did that Fart Man bit
I was just
on
about
MTV.
to say that Fart Man stunt did not go the way he thought it was going to.
No, that went straight to hell.
Yeah. That was one of the dumbest things ever.
Yeah.
He was great when he was on FM radio. Once he went satellite, the charm was gone. Yeah, see, I don't know much of him on FM radio. That's the problem. I only remember the TV show. The original show.
Well, the original show was largely off the FM show, but the thing is,
I thought
when he got on a satellite, part of the excitement of it disappeared because he could curse. Because when he was on FM, he could not.
Yeah.
So the FCC was always up his ass.
Yeah.
And once he got on satellite, now he could say anything.
Yeah.
So it kind of took that whatever you want to call it, the stressful moment out of all of it. Like, oh my God, is he going to get busted?
Yeah.
Because he can't get busted anymore because he's on subscription service and he can literally say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I never cared for him at all.
There's periods of time that I listened to him, but I was never really a fan. You know, it's something like I've been driving for years, not just this job, but I had other jobs driving. And when you're out on the road, it's like you need something to keep your mind stimulated. Yeah. And it will do that for you. I'm not the hugest fan, but it's definitely, it's almost like it's almost like being involved in a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
Because there's several people in the room and there's a certain kind of banter going on and it keeps your mind engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. And let's see.
He's a dirtbag though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you owner operator or do you work for a company?
I drive a company truck.
Okay.
But the money is killer. And yeah, it's like I thought about doing the owner operator thing, but with the overhead and all the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, it's like I like driving somebody else's equipment, because I don't got to worry about it breaking down and getting it to the mechanic myself and carrying $1 million of insurance.
Yeah.
And all this other thing. And I mean, fuel expenses in truck driving, you'll blow like $600 a day.
Yeah.
It's crazy expensive.
Fuel.
Yeah. So, it's a company gig. It's pretty sweet.
Cool.
Tippy Tail's uncle owns a trucking company.
Right on, man.
Nice, man.
Yep.
Well, I kind of sort of work for a trucking company, so small little world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, did you work at Universal Forest Products?
Me?
Yeah.
I had an interview there once, but no, I never took the job.
Huh.
A little too far, not enough money.
I was just wondering. I was actually there when I know you talked about that at some point here. I worked there a little bit around 95 or something. He was there. I only bumped into him one time, but he had some I was in like the boss's office and he had some like a band flyer there that had like some chick with all her clothes ripped off and she was chained to a wall or something.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I have that
and it was on the boss's wall.
That
at
sounds
that
like him.
job, and I was and I was like, yeah, that guy.
I have that flyer here somewhere. I know. I know.
Is
I
that
have it.
right?
Yeah,
Was it like
I've seen it. I've seen it.
putrid vomit or something?
Putrid vomit. Yep, that's it. I couldn't think because there was another guy that I used to work with more recently that had a band called Infectious Waste.
Oh, nice.
That had a poster similar to that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, putrid vomit.
They were like direct competitors, man.
Wow.
Man.
And they're a Christian band, are they?
Oh,
yeah.
How can you tell?
TBT, I was on a LTL dock back in the day. I know all about docks, man.
Yep. Yeah, I worked warehouse and shipping and receiving for the salt company. And of course, I
Okay.
live right next to Route 81, so they're constantly trying to kill me. And I had one truck. I got onto 81 the other day, and there's the truck comes, he's coming right at me with this the skeleton lowboy for the containers.
Sure.
And he damn near drove me off the road.
Wow.
And there's a lot of the other truckers. They're perfectly nice, perfectly normal, give you all the courtesy. There's others are just so out of it.
The ones that are out of it are referred to as mother truckers.
Yeah. Yeah. Fortunately, there's not as many of them, but I remember the one guy going by us in an ice storm. My dad and I were going down to Scranton, and on 81, it's an ice storm. Dad's driving reasonable for the conditions. Truck driver, big yellow truck, comes by us. Had to be doing 80 at least. And about 2 miles up from where he passed us, he's tipped over in the median. Never understood why. I don't like driving in ice to begin with. Why would they want to go fast?
Well, deadlines and stuff like that. No excuse.
Yeah. Still, getting hurt or killing yourself, is it worth it? And then there was John Kelly's father. He was a guy I knew growing up. His father went in for a quadruple bypass, and 2 weeks later, he was driving truck again.
Huh.
One of those big, tough coal miner guys,
That's
Matt
one
Eagle
of those
says-
things. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say that's one of those things in trucking that if you have any sort of a major surgery like that, or heart issues, lung issues, that kind of stuff, it turns into a real headache because anybody with anything other than a Class C license, you have to carry a medical certification.
Yeah.
There's a 2-year physical, and you have to go in and like jump through the hoops and fill out a big questionnaire and all this kind of stuff. And what they do is if you have, I like this with the bypass surgery. I never even heard of that. Like somebody could have a bypass surgery and still keep trucking.
Yeah.
Usually those kind of things are disqualifiers. It depends on what doctor you go to, and it should not be that way.
Yeah. And this was back around 83.
Yeah. Well, things have
82,
changed too.
83.
I guess all the truckers were on meth back then too. And like drug testing was like not really a thing in the early 80s.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing until that train wreck down toward Washington.
Yeah, even up until like 1980-ish. Geez, if you, not that I was old enough to be doing it, but like if you were out driving around drunk and the cop pulled you over, to be like, all right, get back in your car, I'll follow you home.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even arrest you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not condoning drunk driving either.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to be clear, but
Understood.
things have really changed. Is the point?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The Mothers Against Drunk Driving did a good job of getting the attention to that. At least they were doing something worthwhile, unlike a lot of the protesters today. But they did a good job.
Don't get me started, John.
Who? Oh,
don't get me started.
Happy
Matt Eagle said, "I spread
thoughts.
mulch with a guy that doesn't believe in gravity or the moon." That's a random comment.
Yeah.
Now we have Indian dudes that can barely speak English driving trucks here. One drove a dude off. Wait, what? One drove a dude off the bridge over a cheat lake this winter. Wow.
Wow.
Yes, crap for sure.
Gotta love it.
Tippy Tail said, guys at the loading dock at my factory have said most of the over-the-road drivers don't speak English. Yeah, I run into a lot of those too. Yeah.
That's bizarre. Because that was the thing. That was, you had that Southern patriotism in the 70s and 80s with the truck drivers. And that was the time of Smokey and the Bandit and all that. And, it was fun back then, at least.
It was a hilarious time to live, man. I remember you're talking about the Smokey and the Bandit time.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason, it's a horrible, horrible movie. It's just not good. But Convoy.
Yeah.
You remember there was a song Convoy, and they spun off into a movie. It had like Jerry Reed in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember there were two trucks going down the road, and like the cop was chasing after him, and he got between the two trucks, like right behind their trailer wheels, and the two trucks were kind of bumping the cop car side to side and roughing him up a little bit. It was hysterical. It's like nobody got killed or hurt in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is so unrealistic.
Yeah. Crazy time though. And even the highways looked better back then.
Yeah, right.
It's nuts.
How many car movies was Burt Reynolds in?
Oh God.
Like 10 in a row, probably. I'll bet.
Something like that. Because
the Cannonball Runs, the Smokey and the Bandits, or Stroker Ace.
Yeah. And
Hooper.
Sharky's
Hooper,
Machine.
yeah, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, there was a whole mess of
I always thought the Trans Am was a weird choice in Hooper,
Yeah.
considering the link with Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Nothing
you had the old trucker music that didn't start with Convoy, but that's the one that got popular.
Right.
And then Red Sovine with Teddy Bear and a whole bunch of other stuff. And the Gene Tracy truck stop tapes. He was a comedian boy, and he made Howard Stern look like an altar boy.
Who?
Gene Tracy. I don't know how much of his stuff is on YouTube. I know there's some. But yeah, he was crazy. And he would do his shows at truck stops.
Tippy Tail says he's going to drive a bunch of new Glarus beer down to Florida one day. Matt loves Convoy. Has tons of cameos, and if you're a country music fan. I saw that, I think, once when I was a kid. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a cheesy movie. It's certainly a memory.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You had great cheesy movies back then.
It's a product of the time. Yeah, it was a cool, fun time. But it's funny when you look back on it. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How are we watching this stuff?
Yeah. How did some of my classmates survive through that?
Yeah, right.
And of course, the fun time in our area was going down to Wilkes-Barre on a Friday night, cruising the square until they closed it. And now they're making a big deal about opening it up again once in a while for Friday night cruising. It's like, come on.
Well, they do down in town where me and Fett grew up. They put up signs like that. Used to be a thing. It's probably a thing in many, many, many towns everywhere still to this day.
Yeah.
Cruising on Friday night, cruising on any night. But I remember they put up signs in our town that said, like, if you pass this sign more than 2 times in an hour, they're pulling you over and giving you a ticket.
Yeah.
They were like outlawing cruising.
Yeah. They did the same thing in Wilkes-Barre. And it's like, come on, this is Friday night. Nobody's getting hurt. And that was our, YouTube panel back then.
Yeah, right.
That was where you networked. Whether it was for getting girls or getting beer or whatever. And
speaking of girls, Matt Eagle said Convoy is very corny, but hey, Also love Hee Haw. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hee Haw is fun.
Yeah.
That Roy Clark could play, man. Boy, could he
Oh
play.
man. Yeah,
Well,
he was a prodigy.
Got that right.
Yeah.
yeah, I like my dad. I like the way my dad used to watch with the volume turned down.
Mm,
Because like Tippy Tail says, Hee Haw, the juggy.
Yep. A lot of very pretty ladies. Yeah. You met another and you was gone.
I got a guitar I got to drop off at your place, John, one of these days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
somebody
it
gave
need?
me it's what it is it's like a it's an old semi-hollow it's basically like an Epiphone Casino.
Ah,
It's kind of like a skinnier 335.
yeah.
But he gave it to me. It was completely stripped out, no hardware on it.
Right.
It's just a body and a neck. And I have it wired. I bought a trapeze for it. I
Right.
knew it needed a nut. I put the new tuning machines on it, all that jazz. But
Yeah.
I got what it needs like a floating bridge.
Ah,
And I picked one up, which was like, it kind of has like the Les Paul style saddle.
right.
And I put it on there. I had to sand it and everything because it's an arch top. So, it's like I had to kind of get the right, contour going underneath it. And when I put it on and I put strings on it, I became aware that the neck is narrow.
Mhm.
So with the spacing of like the saddles on a regular Les Paul type setup,
Yeah.
it has your lowest string and your highest string they're not on the neck. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
it's narrower. It needs a custom floating bridge and a nut.
It's possible. I haven't done a custom bridge yet, but I've been thinking about it. Might be worthwhile.
Well, this could be your freaking Frankenstein test case.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get together on that.
Right on, man.
And I'm usually up the Masonic Lodge in Pittston on Monday nights.
Well, I'll tell you, I drive up. I don't know what your work schedule is or whatever, but I drive in and out of Jessup every day.
Oh, Jessup.
Yeah, and I live in 44, so I got to be driving right past you there somehow.
Okay, yeah, I'm up actually in Lenox, north of Scott.
Oh, okay.
So you're not all that far away.
Right on.
Yeah, we'll arrange something there.
Cool.
Let me see. Well, a new nut would be a good thing, depending, because it might be the right space nut and the wrong space bridge. There's a lot of math that goes into some of that.
Well, that's where I'm at. It's like I could work on guitars. I mean, I'm not a luthier.
Yeah,
but I've been
doing your own
for,
setups and intonation. That's easy.
all that stuff. But it has this little bit of custom variable in it that it's too technical. It's like out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Right on, man.
Yeah, I'll make you a nice price.
Cool.
But let's see. Trying to remember. Let me see something here real quick. Do. Get out of that. Go over there.
Did you ever talk about the mall bus, Fet?
No, I don't think I did. Stones Grove one.
Yeah, that's a fun memory, right?
Yeah. Used to be a bus here. Well, actually, I'm outside of town, but for the people that lived in town, it used to be a bus went down weekly to our local mall, and I got a lot of metal. Cassettes. They were cassettes back then. On those trips, on that mall bus. I didn't do it much, but every time I went on that bus, man, I came back with something good. It's usually something like Lizzie Borden or something good like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an actual school bus. It was like $2 to get on it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the school kids used to show up, and we used to go down there, get on the school bus to take us down to the mall for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then bring us back. And I was only on it a couple times, man. It was a fun trip though. But same as you, it's like I would go down there, I would go right in the music store. At the time, it's like I was kind of I don't know, it's like I was kind of half and half vinyl and cassettes.
Yeah.
If I could get the vinyl, I was always getting the vinyl. You know, I prefer to get the vinyl and then get me some high bias tapes and kind of rip out my own cassette, because if you got 90-minute cassettes, you could actually have 2 vinyls on a cassette.
Right.
And then when you're out rolling around with your cassette case, you got like twice as much music. If you got a cassette case that holds 30, you actually have 60 records in it.
Yeah.
And
if
you
one
can
of them
fit
got
one on each side.
Yeah, if one of them got eaten up, you can go back and redo it for cheap.
That's right.
You know, as long as you kept the record clean. I had one of those record players. You had to put a quarter on the needle that it wouldn't skip. And of course, that was not the best choice at the time when I was playing drums, because there'd be a warp in the record because it was near the window, and it would be going up and down and up and down, and that threw the timing off on it.
Yeah, right.
You know, and that's when I discovered cassette tapes and headphones. Boy, did that change everything. Then Dad got a night shift job, so I had to trade in the drums for something with a volume control. And I figured, well, bass has got to be the easiest.
Tippy Tail said the first cassette he bought was the Power Station. I honestly don't remember what the first one that I ever bought was. I know I can narrow it down to a few.
Yeah.
And definitely wasn't metal. I can remember having like Men at Work Cargo.
Yeah.
Daryl Hall and John Oates. What the hell was it called? Big Bam Boom or something like that?
Yeah. And I remember getting Styx, The Grand Illusion on cassette. I had both album and cassette of that. And Crystal Ball. I got them the same day.
I'm trying to think of what mine was. It may have been Hellbent for Leather. Judas Priest.
Yep. Yeah.
It's funny. It might have been Pac-Man Fever.
I had that on 8-track, I think.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I had a cousin who used to hook me up, because when I say when I mention those cassettes, that's I'm talking bought, but I had stuff like my cousin would always give me Kiss and Pac-Man Fever and stuff like that on 8. Like I probably, when he replaced his 8-tracks or something, I would get those. So I had stuff like that, but I didn't start off buying metal cassettes for some reason.
Yeah.
I think the first. What's that?
I was reading Old Man's Bird's one comment just before the one you're on, when he took the nut off a guitar. Oh my God, what have I done? Yeah, been there, done that. Bought the t-shirt, designed the boots, wearing the hat.
Tippy says, I love Cargo. I don't remember much about it. Just I know I used to like the song Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive. That's the only thing I remember off of that. And I only bought that cassette because that was new at the time, and I didn't know much about Men at Work. I just knew like MTV played like what were the big ones?
Who Can It Be Now? And,
Who Can It Be Now?
It's a Mistake.
It's a Mistake.
And Down Under.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
the Vegemite sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just looked at. Wow, how's that going? Looked at me and gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
And
Which
Carla
is what? That's like their peanut butter down there or something. What is that stuff?
Carla could tell you better than we could, because
right.
she gave us the explanation.
Yeah,
of
The person that we need is not here.
The difference between Vegemite and Marmite. Basically, Vegemite bad, Marmite good.
Yeah, Marmite doesn't fit into a lyric very well.
Yeah, but Vegemite is pretty disgusting, she says.
That says my first CD I picked out and wanted when I was like 8 was Village People, and I jammed out to that.
Wow.
I know exactly what my first CD was. I know exactly what my first CD was, because I was late on the CD bandwagon, because I swore because I had so many cassettes at one time. I swore I was never switching over. But I can remember the day when I was like, fuck them cassettes. I literally drove all the way to, it was the other mall, Sean. It was the one in Frackville. Drove all the way up there. Overkill Horoscope just came out on cassette. It was like the day of the release. I drove all the way up there, bought it. It was like $22, I remember. So it was like $22 for a cassette, right?
Yeah.
Brought it home, popped it in my stereo. 2 seconds in, all the tape came pouring out the bottom of the stereo. And I was like, I didn't have enough time to drive back to the mall before they closed. So, Sean, back in the day, we had like Ames's and Kmart here. That was
That's right.
So I went to Kmart, and the only thing there that even kind of floated my boat remotely was Firehouse 3, I think it was their third one. And so, and I just bought it because, I needed a fix. I was so pissed off because of what happened with that Overkill cassette.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Firehouse was my first CD. I like Firehouse, I'm not, I would like to say it was, P sells, but who's buying or something like that. But Kmart had Firehouse, so I grabbed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my first album, Kiss Destroyer. And I managed to get that because I found $6 sitting in a parking lot unattended. And said, oh, great, I can go buy something. Went to Joe Nardone's Gallery of Sound in Pittston and paid, I think it was $3.99 or $4.99 for the album, and thought, wow, that's really expensive. So now you look at what you're paying for a CD of it, $16.95 and all that.
The price
Crazy.
on vinyl. It's crazy. Vinyl came back, but you see the price on vinyl, it's like $30 a record now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Tippy Tail has a jar of flies that has plastic flies in the jewel case. That's kind of
crazy.
Oh, jeez.
Yo, you know what I loved back in the day? Speaking of Overkill, Sean, I don't know if you remember or not, but when it came out, in it was only the album, I think, that you could get in this format. When it came out with the album, it was an EP, FU, right? It came in a garbage bag.
Yeah,
in
it
the
was in
record
black
store.
plastic. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was in a garbage bag, and that's how you bought it. Now the CD, I remember buying the CD. It just had a reversible cover.
Yeah,
it said like Overkill, and you could flip it around. It had the middle finger and stuff on it. But I thought that was so cool, being able to buy a brand new album in a garbage bag in the record store.
It was cool. It was definitely a gimmick. As soon as they did that whole thing with the PMRC and started sticking the labels on it, like that's the only record kids wanted.
That's what I said. I did a video on my channel a while back where I said that was like, that showed you what was cool. That was like, hey, look at me. You want to?
It was like, it was like the freaking the kids' freaking seal of approval.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's it.
SB4H, when I finally got a CD player, my first CD was Surprise, the Transformers movie soundtrack. It's a cool first CD for sure.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Lion and whatnot last week.
Yeah. Let's see.
Tippy Tail's wife has a working Sony Discman. Holy smokes.
Wow.
I don't think I ever had a Discman. Walkman back in the day.
Yeah, I had one back in the days when I worked at the university.
I never had a real Walkman. I never had like a Sony Walkman.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I'd like a cheap one.
Was it a Sony?
It was Sony for sure.
I got mine down at, remember the M&L appliance place down there in the Anther Plaza?
Oh, yeah.
They used to, they had this appliance place, but they had a case in the front that was all full of the, they were probably real Sony Walkman. Is that, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Walkman?
Plural of Sony Walkmans.
Walkman?
Yeah. But they had a case in the front that, like, that's kind of when the Walkman became a thing. And they had a glass case with, like, I don't know, just like you see, well, geez, not even this day and age, but think 10, 15 years ago when you used to walk in Walmart and they had the big glass case full of MP3 players. There was like 20 different ones you could get.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to have that case in the appliance store down there. And I got some, I guess you would call it an off-brand. I mean, it wasn't even a recognizable brand name, but they had them there. They had batteries in them. And it was the ones that my dad took me there, and we put the headphones on, and and we kind of did. Me and my dad did like the comparison together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like when we put these headphones on, we both gave each other the thumbs up, and it's like, yeah, that one sounds real good.
Cool.
Well, I got mine. I remember distinctly getting it at Ames's, and so it couldn't have been that expensive. But Sean, you probably saw me wearing it on many occasions because you remember the jean jacket I used to wear. I used to tuck it in the inside pocket, run the wire up through my jacket, and hide the headphones under my ears.
Yeah.
There's probably many a time you saw me in the building, you know, in school back in the day, and I was probably jamming the Slayer or something.
Speaking of Ames's, Fat, you'll love this, man. I got caught shoplifting at Ames's.
Wow.
And you're gonna love this. Guess what I was shoplifting?
Oh, make me proud.
The Last Command on cassette.
Oh, dude.
It was down the front of my pants.
Listen, I don't blame you, brother. If I saw that thing and I didn't have the cash on me, man, I would have done it too. And what an album! That's fantastic. Thank God it was something super cool like that. Yeah. Oh man, I love The Last Command.
Yes.
Yeah, my friend who got caught with me, he had a cap gun.
Oh,
I was like, lame.
double whammy. God.
See, now that's before he said I had a Sony cassette Walkman with the 8 radio presets and other little goodies. I was a king, I tell you. See, now he had the expansive one there.
Yeah,
I didn't have any of that there stuff. Mine played a tape. Done.
Yeah.
Remember the first ones came out, they had the leather case with the snaps on it.
Wow, no,
Like
mine didn't have that.
You never saw that?
No.
That used to be a thing with radios and cassette players for geez, I don't know how long. But that it used to be like the leather case on the Sony Walkman. It was like definitely an add-on accessory. But a lot of old radios before that, transistor radios and stuff like that, they used to come in like a little leather case with snaps on it. Where like the radio, the default radio didn't have like a strap on it or anything. You had to have the leather case. That's what had.
He said strap on.
That's right.
Yeah, I had one of those little Japanese transistor radios with the case and the earplug thing. God. That was the second place I heard Kiss was on that little radio. And then we had a radio in the bathroom that doubled as a toilet paper dispenser. Had the little
I remember that. I remember that.
And I'm sitting there doing my business, and all of a sudden I hear Rock and Roll All Night, the live version. And it's like, wow.
Whoa.
You know, but that was, God, the things
There you
we
go.
had back then.
Anyone interested, Tippy Tail will sell a Discman for $75.
Oh, wow.
TDK 90-minute cassette would hold 2 albums recorded off the radio or from someone else playing their cassette into your recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, did anyone else know anyone back in the day that had like a Teddy Ruxpin? I remember my one neighbor friend, she had a Teddy Ruxpin, and I remember distinctly putting Slayer's Rain and Blood in there.
Yeah.
To watch that thing freak out.
Eyes turn red, it spits fire and blood.
Yeah, they should have made a version like that because you know what I mean. Back in those days, you had the whole Satanic Panic and everything, and
yeah,
that would have been. They could have sold it to metalheads. You know what I mean? Like make a metal Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, right.
God,
that's as I say, Walkmans just to be in a. So I mean, is it Walkmen? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, technically the name is Walkman.
Yeah.
This is how people could tell we're all like 100 years old.
Yeah, we're trying to say Walkman.
Like,
yeah,
Walkman?
because we're assuming it's gender.
Yeah, right.
Any youngin stumbling onto this live stream will start Googling, what the hell's a Walkman?
Yeah, right.
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah. I got mine at the PX up in Groton, Connecticut at the sub base. And I felt like I was rich. You know, now I've got a actual thing that was advertised on TV with a name brand and everything.
Back before smartphones came, I actually ended up with the Sony Walkman phone.
Mhm.
It was
Wow.
like a combination. It was like it was a slider phone.
Oh, wow.
They were calling it the like chocolate bar or what, whatever that format was. It wasn't the flip phone, it was the other one. You could slide it up.
Yeah,
And
like the one from the Matrix.
yeah, and it got a little bit taller, and but it had a Walkman, like an MP3 player built into it, and
Oh,
it
jeez.
actually had like a micro SD. You could change the size of like
Hmm.
how much music you could store in it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Dutel was saying and bragging about having TDK tapes too, an original case.
Oh, yeah.
I remember TDK.
TDK was among the best.
Yeah, Maxell was always the Cadillac of them all, I think.
Yeah.
But TDK
Yeah.
was right up there though.
Yeah.
I used a lot of Maxells. I went through a lot of Maxells in my day, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
There were cheaper versions
Memorex too.
or Memorex, maybe that's what I'm thinking. What was the cheap one? You remember they were in the clear case, but they had like the yellow and pink inserts and stuff.
Oh, those were I think that was TDK
Was it?
for a moment in time. Yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of went to that whole 80s freaking bubblegum kind of aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there was
cheap because I remember having a ton of them.
Well, there was the pure black with the green case from Radio Shack,
Yeah, right.
and boy, were they horrible.
Oh, the ones from Kmart were the worst. Their brand name was KMC, which was
Yeah.
like, it was the abbreviation for Kmart cassette.
Yeah. God. The Kmart Blue Light Special.
That was one of my first jobs at that Kmart right there.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, well, I
You know-
started at Long John Silver's. I was still in high school. I was working about 30 hours a week, and then the one day I came in,
Yeah.
and I only had 3 hours on the schedule.
Hmm.
And I was just like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
And I went to the boss, and there was this other guy working at Long John's at the time. His name was Frank. And I walked up to this boss. His name was Jim. And I said, Jim,
Mhm.
I'm going to be frank with you. I'm leaving. And he
Mhm.
said, what? Frank's leaving? And I was like, no. I'm leaving. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you only gave me 3 hours. And he's like, oh, I'll fix that. And I'm like, it's too late, man. I'm out of here. And he goes, you have to give notice. And I said, yeah, notice how I'm leaving.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know they tore that Kmart down a couple of years ago?
I did not, I just drove down through there the other night. There was an accident on one of my roads. And, I run all down through our old stomping ground there. And it ran me down through there, but it's pitch black in the middle of the night when I'm coming through there. So I couldn't really tell. But another thing, though, I come down to basically the intersection where the Frackville Mall was located.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's always in the dark of night. And it was only within the last couple months or so that I was talking to somebody, and I was like, somebody else that we grew up with. And I was saying, yeah, I come down through there every night, like right where the Frackville Mall is like, that's where one of my stores is, where I do my first delivery. And they told me, oh, they tore that down. It's always pitch black when I come down there. And I didn't even know the mall wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I'm at that intersection at midnight,
Mhm.
turning off of it and going to where I need to go to make my delivery. And it didn't even occur to me that the mall is not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's so sad driving up there and not seeing that up on top of that hill. Like I avoid that place because I don't know. That was heaven to me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just telling everyone last week. I think it was last week. I made a video about the Converse sneakers, and that's the mall in that video.
Yeah.
That's why I incorporated it because it's no longer even there. It's so sad, man.
Yeah.
I saw me a lot of movies in that mall too.
Yeah. I used to go to the Wyoming Valley Mall all the time, and every store was full. The place was booming, and then they brought in all the Walmarts and the big box stores and all this other stuff. Now there's hardly anything in there. The theater is gone. That's the theater where I, saw everything pretty much. It was also the Gateway in Edwardsville. But yeah, that's all gone now, and it's dead. And I figured out quickly how to walk through that mall in about 2 minutes, even when it was crowded. You know, you don't get behind anybody with a hat, a baby carriage, and you don't get behind women who look in the windows at the fashion stores. You find your way around those people, you can get anywhere fast.
Well, it's crazy the way the mall has gone. You know, it's like that to whatever, not coin the expression, but it's going the way of the land shark. That it's funny in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
You know, you used to go to the mall and it was like elbow to elbow, like it was a crowd that you're walking.
Yeah.
It was like being at a concert.
It was an event.
It was so crowded. Yeah.
It was an event. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had in the middle of most malls, there was a place where people could set up demonstrations of various things, like the old Shopsmith woodworking system.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, guys would be actually doing some woodwork there. Or they'd bring in that, it looked like the space shuttle from Star Trek. I don't know what the real name of it was, but it was a ride and you get in it and it moves up and down and sideways, and there's a movie.
Yeah, it's like a flight simulator.
Yeah. And all kinds of things like that you'd find in the malls, you know. And now you're lucky to find a store open. I mean, even bookstores, you know, the mall down here in Scranton, the Viewmont Mall, there used to be 2 bookstores in there, and they were in heavy competition, full all the time. Now they're gone, you know, and it's like, how do you buy books now? You know, I don't want to buy anything online. I don't like doing that.
Well, one of the bigger malls in the area, over in the Berwick way there, because I haven't been over there in probably 10 years, but the last time I was there was hardly a single store open, and people were using it for like power walking, like indoor power walking around. It's sad. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
Matt even wanted to know, he wants to know, what are you guys' preferred headphones? The best I've owned was a set of Shure SRH 440s. I'm sure there's something better than that, but those were wicked. I have 2 pairs. I don't like wearing for YouTube purposes. I don't know. I just can't stand it. I have a pair of Zooms that came with this, and I have a pair of Sonys.
Yeah.
I forget where I got those. I don't use either one of them.
I forget what these are. Huh.
I should get a pair of them just because of the colors. They look like I'm coordinated or something.
Well, that's the thing. These were a present from a Christmas present from my nephew, and he knew I liked the green and black Fet for Hire thing, so he bought these. But I don't know. I don't know what the brand is or anything. There's nothing on it, but they work great.
How about you, Sean? You got a favorite set of headphones?
Audio Technica right now. I needed something when I recorded that first album. I was using a pair of they were like a Philips. I don't know. They consider them to be like TV headphones. They're corded, but they have like a 20-foot long cord.
Yeah.
And I used that and I mixed my first record with it, and I had to go through a lot of remixes, you know, because like you mix, you freaking put it on whatever your medium is. Like nowadays it's into your phone, your MP3 player, whatever, something that you could take it and play it on different equipment to see what it really sounds like.
Yeah.
And I had to remix it so many times because of the headphones that I was using, because they were not they were not the right headphones for A, laying down tracks, and B, mastering.
Yeah.
So right now I have a pair of Audio Technicas on, and they are like I don't know, they were about $100, but I read a lot of reviews. They're sonically accurate.
Yeah.
So like all this other music that I have parked over at the copyright office for God knows whatever freaking reason, it's not coming back to me. Most of that stuff I got through, you know, it's like I kind of had the magic bullet right on the first mix because I have the right set of headphones on.
Yeah.
These are not the greatest headphones you could get, but they are sonically accurate. They're not coloring the sound in any weird kind of a way. They're really giving you what you have.
Yeah.
I'm sure the pair of shorts that was mentioned here is probably they probably cost 3 times the price of this, and I'm sure they're wonderful. Shure is a big brand in headphones
Yep.
and microphones and that sort of
Microphones,
thing
yeah.
for throughout our whole lifetime.
Yeah.
They're legendary brands for that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard about Shure was back in the late 70s. I think it was International Musician and Recording World magazine.
Right.
And, advertisements for the SM57 and the SM58 and this other one for drums and, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they were the big one next to Neumann.
Yeah, I've got an SM57 and a 58 here, man. They're kind of like
Yeah.
standard equipment, even though I haven't been doing vocals lately.
Mhm.
If you are doing vocals or doing any kind of recording, they're kind of a couple microphones you want to have in your arsenals.
Yeah.
Because they're classics.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And they've been around forever.
Tom Petty's vocal sound was straight into an SM57.
Yeah.
Which is not really considered a vocal mic by most people. It's more of for miking up instruments and stuff like that. But yeah, that was kind of his thing, that Tom Petty vocal sound.
Yeah.
It's the sound of an SM57.
Yeah. Yeah. And he has that really nasally voice. It probably helped with that quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody finds their sweet spot,
Yeah. And most of the microphones I've had were all basically Radio Shack because, cheap.
Right.
But they worked. Of course, I don't sing much, well, I'm not allowed, state law. But yeah, when I sing, people tend to throw things at me. And, some of them are on fire, some of them are not. But you'll have this.
William Shakespeare is back. He says, though, I think I'll need to just stay in the chat tonight. That's cool. I don't think we're going to go too much longer, so that's all good. Old Man Bird, best places for girl watching: the mall, the airport, Target. I don't go to Target much.
It's funny, the two malls that we grew up around with, Susquehanna Valley and the Frackville Mall, how different they were.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just aesthetically, because the Susquehanna Valley, they went with like all light colored, tile and all that kind of stuff, where Frackville was like totally different, man.
Well, it was older.
Well, they did everything in like the brown, the darker tile, like more terracotta style.
Yeah, it was a dark mall.
Yeah, you walk into the other one and it seems like it's all light and airy. And Frackville was like kind of like you're at the Wicked Mall.
Well, that's why I think I was always at the Wicked Mall.
Yeah. It had a different vibe, man.
It sure did. I miss it though. I really do. I wish I could go back.
Yeah, because there were all those really cool stores too. Spencer Gifts is still around, but it's
not the same.
No, and you had the stores. I forget what the name was. Something Designs, and they had everything from suits of armor and swords to lots of paintings and all kinds of stuff like that. And they had your little wizard statues with the incense thing, and all kinds of weird stuff. But that was the era of sword and sorcery movies and wizards and all that. Much more compact than today. And you had clothing stores, shoe stores, and the prices were low, and God, it was great.
It was great about Spencer Gifts. It was there for me in the stages of my life. Yeah. Because when I was young, they had like Gumby toys and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Then I got into my teens and stuff, and they had rock band shirts and stuff like that. And when I got a little bit older and a little bit hornier, they had the posters of the naked women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All stages of a man's life, of a young boy's life. So,
and the posters were in the back, in the corner,
mm-hmm.
rolled up in either in the wall thing, or they had them in the plastic pages on the stand.
Yeah, the viewers, the books, the big plastic poster books. Oh yeah, I remember those fondly.
and you could buy cans of bullshit repellent, which I still to this day don't know what the hell it is, but you
Yeah, the
could
gag
buy
gifts
them.
and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's
Hell,
like
Spencer
when
gifts.
somebody's jerking your chain, man. You just freaking hose them with that stuff. They shut up.
Yeah.
I'll bet.
William Shakespeare says, by the way, the Puente Hills Mall, where Back to the Future was filmed, is scheduled to be demolished and turned into condos / apartments. Man, that sucks.
Wow.
You would think just for nostalgia purposes, people would go there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of YouTube channels have been there, you know, to film. And
Yeah. That's the thing. It's one of the things I hate is seeing buildings torn down and bridges, which don't even get me started on Pittston right now. But
This talk of Spencer's reminds me of a funny story from back in, it would have been back in elementary school. In one of our reading classes, you know, it's like the way the old textbooks were. Like you'd go through whatever you do, whatever the teacher wanted to do. You know, it'd be a certain number of pages. I remember they had like a version of War of the Worlds where like the different, you know, all classmates. It's like we kind of assigned parts. It's like we didn't put on a full play or anything, but we kind of read it in class. And you know, it's like I'm so and so, and you're so and so, and you know, we kind of act out the play in the class. But one of the pages in between the different assignments for English class was it was like a project, and it was soap sculpture.
Oh yeah.
And so the teacher said, we're going to do this soap sculpture contest, and then he said when we judge it, we're going to figure out like a good prize that we can give. Well, maybe we'll take you out for something.
Yeah.
And I ended up being one of the kids. They actually selected 3 guys that there were 3 guys and 3 girls, you know, but I won it, and the prize was that him and his wife took us 3 guys to the mall.
Yeah.
They bought us pizza. They let us walk around for a little while. We ended up in Spencer's, where, you know, whatever, a couple of freaking 5th graders looking at all the dirty stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun. But then they took us to the gun store.
Yeah.
This was the 80s. Could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine but like the parents were like totally on board with this?
Yeah.
You know, like I won the soap sculpture contest, and the teacher said, all right, we're going to take the kids to the mall, and then we're going to take them to the gun store. And the parents, my parents, were like, yeah, whatever, you know, and like all the parents.
Yeah.
Because I at that time we had never had a mass shooting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like not like nowadays they're trying to totally steer kids away from guns because of all the massacres we've seen.
Yeah.
But it's shocking how far we've fallen as a society.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody, you know, these kids don't respect anything anymore. And it's like, you know, have a sense of pride in your community at least.
Yeah,
or
right.
Your country or your, you know, family honor, something. You know, you got to have some sort of a moral anchor, you know, to keep you from going down those roads. I don't know. It's just so crazy today. And of course, you know, the way things were back then, you're right. You could go into a gun store. I mean, hell, I remember Kresge's in Wilkes-Barre. They had a gun store downstairs, and it was right next to the pet shop. I mean, crazy stuff.
Well, William said, I probably missed a lot of good conversation tonight, but I love the reminiscing about the 1980s technology. Yeah. Always rewind, dude.
Yep.
Be kind. Please rewind, brother.
Yeah. There's something you'll find in the antique shop, a video cassette rewinder. Remember they used to sell those?
I used to have one. I don't think I have it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pop it in there. Rewound it faster, saved your VCR. I remember them things.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had one. I think it looked like a 57 Chevy, if I remember right.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do remember the ones that looked like cars. Holy shit, I forgot about them.
Well, the thing with that was, I think it used to take so long to rewind a videotape, and you wanted to be watching something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like that was like the big selling point on the consumer side of it.
Yeah.
The video store used to get all bent out of shape if you brought something back that wasn't rewound. But on our end, it was just so we could like load the next thing in and start watching it without waiting for the last thing to freaking rewind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could just pop those things in, and when they were done, they ejected themselves. But man, it's at least mine was noisy. I do remember that.
Right.
Trying to watch another program, and I think it's over there in the corner. But yeah,
Yeah. And who knew that 30 years later you'd be able to go onto YouTube, watch a movie, and then click one button and you're on to the next.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really something else.
Yeah. Let's see. Huh.
You got a lot of subs since I've been here the last time, or friends, as you say. They are
yeah,
friends.
my friends, man. Yeah, channels. Well, it was taken off. Kind of.
That's awesome. Last time I was here, you were struggling to get to 1,000, and I hadn't talked to you in forever, but it seemed like you were struggling to get to 1,000 for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I talk all the time. I can't get the algorithm thing, because it's like I'll make a video. Sometimes I'll think it's a stupid video, and I don't even know if I should put it out there. I do, and then boom, gets a bunch of views.
Yeah.
Then I'll make a video on the same topic, try to hashtag it identically and all of that there, and then that one doesn't get any views. I'm kind of back to like not getting many views and stuff again. I can't figure this algorithm thing out. I don't understand how people do it.
I don't know.
I know there's a guy I work with. He has some kind of app on his phone that tells him like what's trending on YouTube right now, and he'll like hashtag it like that and stuff. But I don't know. To me, that's like cheating. I'm not going to hashtag, like if I make a video about sneakers, I'm not going to hashtag it. You know what I mean? SpaceX or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Every time I put up a new video on YouTube, this is pretty cool. And it suggests hashtags for me.
Mm-hmm.
It always thinks that I should hashtag myself, like hashtag Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Pink Floyd has influenced me. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
But it's cool that the technology, I seriously doubt there's a human being on the other end of that, but something is listening to my stuff and looking at my content and thinking that I should apply a Pink Floyd hashtag to it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. My mother has the edema in the legs, and she was talking to her physical therapist that, we had one of those that comes to the house. And I happened to be up there at the time, and she mentioned this special boot for the leg edema and the brand name and everything. I go downstairs, and the first thing on Facebook is an ad for this very same thing. So the phone, they're definitely listening to the phones.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
That's crazy.
Oh, this is funny. Old man Bird. We're going back to Spencer gifts. I think. He says, I bought my wife a, quote, shaky thing there because she was too embarrassed. The teenage girl cashier asked me if I wanted to buy batteries. They take batteries? I feared she thought it was for me. Oh, man. The things you do for your women, man.
Yep. Wow.
I saw you have a link for StreamYard, like at the top of the chat here. I thought maybe you upgraded.
No, they're doing that. I don't know what it is. I think I hit some kind of milestone or something that they. I have to like click to not have that there, and I always forget to do it.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything's a racket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess maybe I'm doing it enough now or something, or enough people are watching the live streams that they're kind of promoting themselves through me, so they're making money off of it probably, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube is a fickle mistress, that's for sure.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
I guess. I mean, I do. I wouldn't be doing this stuff if I didn't, but
yeah, it's just when they make a change or something and they don't tell you exactly what it is. They expect everybody to know everything about computers and updates and all this. I'm 60. I grew up in the 80s. I don't know for computers. You gotta spell it out for me.
Walter, but welcome, Walter. By the way, Walter says I
Hello.
hear Floyd.
Ah,
So, Sean says I guess I'd roll with it. You know what I mean? If they hear it, I'd
I
roll
don't
with
feel I don't feel right using the tag, man. I don't know. It feels like it's deceptive because I'm not Pink Floyd. I'm not affiliated with Pink Floyd. It's cool that it labels me that way,
yeah.
but I don't feel right using it.
Yeah, I
You
feel
know?
a little weird about that
Well, because
myself.
it kind of looks like, I mean, obviously, the things that I put out and I call songs, I got big balls to be calling some of these things freaking songs. Because, like, I get freaking 2 chords going and, like, a cool lick and, something that I think sounds cool. And I just push it out and say, hey, man, look, it's a song. But, like, by the standards of freaking the world, my things aren't even really songs. And,
hey, dude, you're talking to somebody here who's calling my things videos and live streams.
yeah, well, it's like it is like, hey, if you got the balls to put it out there, look at you, man. Like you got nearly 2,000 friends already, and you've got this beautiful little community going on. It's like it's a good feeling over here.
Oh yeah.
But it's like I don't feel right tagging myself with the name of some other band.
Yeah.
That because like it just feels deceptive.
On the other hand, though, hold on, I kind of agree with you because like I kind of just said the same thing. I don't want to hashtag something it's not, in my opinion. But I can remember buying. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the band Sister Sin, but one of the reasons why I bought their one album was because right on the front of the CD it said for fans of Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, stuff like that. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a spin. So
yeah.
Yeah,
up to a point that can be okay, because they're putting, the genre out there. This is it. This is not, Christian album, or this is not, big band influence. This is where your genre is.
Then again, though, I wonder if the band made the decision to stick that label on there, or if it was the record company.
Usually the record company.
That's what I'm thinking. It probably wasn't the band themselves that said, hey, let's put on a freaking sticker that says we sound like Motley Crue. Yeah. It was probably the record company that has a more legal clout in case somebody gets real pissed off about it. But also, they just have they're plugged more into the marketing thing to know whether they could do that and get away with it. And obviously, I mean, they're looking to sell more records, so that's why they wouldn't do it. But I don't know. It's neat that it always labels me that way, but I don't think I could do it. But every time I see it though, and I'm like, wow, it thinks I'm Pink Floyd. Like it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, and I enjoy the music.
Thanks, man.
It's different. It's got its own song structure, as you said. It's its own thing, really. And
it's simple. It's art.
Who says this is not rating? Who says it has to be verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus like everybody else?
Right.
The Beatles said that.
Yeah.
Which is what everybody patterns everything after.
The Beatles.
I'm convinced a lot of people don't know what they're listening to anyway, because I remember back when we put the Roulette album out, I know a couple people said to me, oh, you guys sound like Quiet Riot. I was cool with that because I grew up on Quiet Riot, but then I had one person said to me, man, you guys sound just like Styx. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
No. Nothing against Styx, but because I wanted to be heavier than what we were, and then I was like, Styx?
Yeah.
That's a little too light.
Yeah.
I mean, even at their heaviest, Styx wasn't that heavy.
Cool band. I like Styx. I'm not a diehard fan. They're cool, but like, I don't want to be compared to them.
Yeah, I didn't want to be Styx. I don't want to listen to Styx, but
because they didn't have much in the way of out and out rock and roll, except songs like Miss America, and I think there was one or two others on Paradise.
Oh, Paradise Theater was awesome, man.
Yeah.
What a
That
great,
came-
great record, man. Start to finish. I love that
Yeah.
album.
Oh yeah. That
Holy
came
smokes,
out
real
on my
quick.
16th birthday.
Real quick, Max Redstone. He says, "Hey neighborinos, I'm in the car but lurking.
Ah, hey Max.
We'll drive safe, buddy. Especially out where you're at.
Yeah.
He's out there with the
Take the
Looney
back
Tunes.
roads.
Yeah.
Watch out for Topanga Canyon. And the only
So-
reason I know Topanga Canyon exists is from a movie. I don't remember which movie.
You know,
But anyway.
Speaking of YouTube, okay,
Mhm.
John, you probably remember a while back where I was complaining about getting bombarded with dicks here on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It was like every commercial video, sometimes multiple times during the video, was for dicks. I got so sick and tired of YouTube promoting dicks.
Mm-hmm.
It was so frustrating, you know? Well, that subsided now. Thank God Dick's Sporting Goods is all renovated now and all good. Okay.
Yeah.
But I've discovered something new. Now, every time I watch or even come on to my feed here on YouTube, I noticed something. I've noticed this. What is this? What am I looking at here?
An abomination before man and God.
So apparently Panera Bread has a sip club, but why does this look at me all the time? Like, you know, I come to my feed and it's here. It's just it won't stop staring at me and looking at me.
Yeah.
It's like dicks all over again, but now it's like undercover dicks.
Yeah.
You know, dicks in disguise.
Yep.
But they're still bombarding you with dicks here on YouTube. I don't get
It's disturbing.
it. It is disturbing.
I think it's a form of intimidation.
I think it is too. And I don't like it. So
Yes.
YouTube, knock it off.
Yeah, make it go away.
Yes, please.
Hey, there he
And now I
is.
have a cat. I have a cat. See, look at even the cat's scared now. It's like, save me. Save me.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on here?
Hail
Right.
Kylo.
You think? Yeah, you think? Hold on. Sorry, Kylo, but I can't see here. Again, everyone. Here's Kylo. Hold on. He's about to knock my computer off the desk and stick his claws into my shirt. But there he is. So, no ice cream for Kylo. He's worked up enough at the moment.
Strawberry shortcake. And delivered by Mama Fez.
Who's triggered? Max says, I am also scared of the dicks on YouTube. Yeah, there are too many dicks on YouTube. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's crazy.
Hashtag no more dicks on YouTube. YouTube. That's before it says kitty. Yeah, I know. I should leave them on screen a little more, a little longer and stuff, because kitties get the views and stuff. But he always tends to claw my shirt. I don't know if you noticed, but I got my Doomcock shirt on tonight. I definitely don't want this claw. So yeah.
Yeah.
With we need to show respect before we reject.
Yep. And that's when I keep wondering why never Doomcock picked up on this one. Was he used to do the without respect we reject. And I'm the one who came up with great respect we connect. And he never seemed to pick up on that.
Well, what's he say? He says, with respect, we accept, or something like that. He says, I think.
Something.
He doesn't say it very often, so I don't remember exactly. But
yeah.
That Eagle says that's a dope shirt. Yes, it is. This was, I'm pretty sure, I think he goes by Swap Shop now on Twitter. He did this shirt for DC.
Cool.
An old buddy of mine. He has a YouTube channel too. Star Wars. He just started one. Hold on. Let me see if I can get to Twitter without ending the stream or anything here. Because I haven't been on Twitter this whole time, so it's probably going to take a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find him here. Yeah, she's moving slow, man. She's slower than me when I get up in the morning.
That's all right. I just got whippy cream on my pants. Don't
Whoa!
say it.
I'm not going to say it. Yes, he is World of Swap Shop on Twitter, and his YouTube channel is Star Wars Praxium of the Pathfinder. Wait, is that the channel? Star Wars Praxium of the Pathfinders. So I'm probably fucking that all up. So I'll try to remember to put a link in it later.
All right.
So you guys can check him out. But yeah, he's man behind all the cool merch. But all right. I don't know. I guess we're 2 hours, 39 minutes on my counter. So I think this was a pretty good one. I didn't think I was going to go this long. It's been a pretty depressing week, I must admit. But Old Man Bird says hashtag without respect we reject, hashtag fire Kathleen Kennedy, hashtag horny for Sigourney.
Sigourney Weaver, yeah.
Let's go with the Sigourney, man, because who even cares about Kathleen Kennedy anymore? That's my biggest problem with the whole pop culture thing. I have 2 screens up on my computer right now. Snow White becomes Disney's biggest bomb, and I was going to talk about Hollywood suing an AI company over the copyright infringement and stuff like that. But it's like I couldn't care less about what's going on in Hollywood anymore. I really don't. I'm fine watching the old Star Wars for the rest of my life, as long as I can get a hold of like a bootleg CD DVD player when they stop making them or something down the road. I'll be good. So
right. Hey, Jack Lumen is here. Hello.
Holy
there.
smoke! This is don't Eastern time zone. Yeah. Old Man Bird says head to Jill's. Oh, is Jill streaming? Definitely. Everybody.
She's doing a game thing tonight. I forget what the name of the game was. It was one of those popular ones. Damn it, my brain don't work the way I want it to.
I think they're actually even talking about it earlier. But so all right, so always 3 hours behind. I'm just permanently behind up here. But Matt Eagle says, damn her, the only thing DC didn't get right that I can think of, she must have serious dirt on someone, Kathleen KK. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, who even remotely cares at this point? But so that's a good thing. We're strolling over Jill. We're streaming over Jill anyway, so I think it's a good time to wrap it up. And everyone head on over to Jill's channel. King Dolphin streamed earlier before me too, so if you need something else to watch after that, definitely check out King Dolphin's Just Cuts from tonight. And here comes the cat again. Cal2 Gaming. I don't know what that is.
Yes.
But Jack Lumen is Pacific time. Oh. Hopefully you're not where the weirdos are. But SP4H says good night, everyone. So, all right, I'm going to try not to ruin things with Kylo up here again. But so, Sean, anything you want to promote or coming up? Do you want to talk about or?
Not really.
Just want to give a schedule, like when you're putting out your next video, or
yeah, just the channel, man. Like, please visit the channel, SeanKRocks.com, and if you like my content, usually new stuff on Friday nights. So please tune in, and if you're not subbed up over on my channel, I'd appreciate it. If you could just hit the little button there for me. You don't get spammed or anything like that. It's like you just get some fresh, new musical, trippy entertainment once a week.
Yep. Highly recommended, by the way.
Right on, man. Thank you very much.
There's Jill's link, and this is pardon the cat. This is Sean's latest video, and this is his channel. So everyone head on over and check Sean out. He's a cool dude, good friend, and he makes some good tunes. Right on. Absolutely, rock on, dude. So glad you stopped by, man. I was a little bummed out tonight, but it's nice to have an old friend on the panel with me.
Always a good time.
While I look through a cat. All right, Brother John.
Yes,
how about
sir.
you? Anything we want to shout out or?
Not a whole lot. Just I do the usual King Dolphin thing, and then come over here with you, have a lot of fun, and, kind of promote kitty cats, because I'm a cat guy, not a dog guy. But yeah, that's about it. And other than that, still plugging away.
Well, this cat of mine's about to stand on a keyboard and probably end things. So I guess that's a good time for me to tell you what to do. And I hope you know what that is. You need to. Oh, hold on. I totally forgot a whole nother part of this thing. Hold on. You guys aren't subscribers. You're Fet's friends. And I want to thank everyone that was here on the panel tonight. I want to thank everyone that was here in the chat. And I want to thank everyone that will watch this on the replay. I love you guys. And make sure that you take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of your pets. And more importantly, as he chews on my microphone, take it sleazy.
Shaking your head.